All right, thank you so much. All right. So our topic for today is cloud security. And all right, kindly give me a minute. Kindly give me a minute. All right, so our learning objective is to know the concept and importance of cloud security, describe what's the shared responsibility model between cloud provider and the customer, understand the role of the Cloud Security Alliance and its key frameworks, that's the CCM and security guidance, identify and explain the top threats to cloud environments, as well as describe the CSA domains related to governance, risk, and compliance. So before we proceed, right, we would have to understand what the cloud is all about, even before we look at what the security of the cloud is, right? And it states that the cloud is a way to store and access data or run programs using remote computers that are called data centers connected through the internet instead of relying on your own device storage or processing power. So you accessing the computers, right, or computing resources outside your own device. So you access it from a remote site rather than your own. It's what we call the cloud. Right. So you can think of it as an online service where you can save files, use apps, or get computing resources on demand from a shared digital warehouse called a data center. So on my right side, you can see that I've listed a couple of cloud computing apps or let me see, cloud computing sites. So we have Gmail, we have Dropbox, we have, sorry. We have Sandex, that is for Salesforce. We have HubSpot. We have Google Drive. There are so many forms of cloud computing resources available. So then we proceed to the types of cloud. We have software as a service, also known as the SaaS, and they are ready-made application accessed through the internet. So I've given some examples here like Gmail, Microsoft 365, Zoom, Salesforce. All these are software as a service. They are already made applications that you just browse through the internet, and some are paid, some are not paid. Gmail like this is free. You can use it. Microsoft 365 is purchased, right? Salesforce is also purchased. Zoom, depending on your subscription, can either be paid or free. So it's part of a cloud. They are already made application that you can just access it just across the internet. Then we have the platform as a service. There are tools and platform developers use to build and deploy apps. So we have the Google App Engine and the Azure App Services. So this is where app developers, website developers can go, and then they can just use their resources to be able to develop or deploy apps. And we have infrastructure as a service, that's the IaaS. They provide virtual service, servers, storage, and networking. So the infrastructure as a service, if maybe you access AWS, that's the Amazon Web Services, you can be able to get virtual machines, you can be able to get virtual servers, you can be able to get storage and as well as networking resources. When you go to Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, all these are part of the IaaS or the infrastructure as a service. And we also have a type of cloud service called the storage services. That is where you can store your data. So instead of you storing your data manually on your laptop, you can just store it on the cloud. And that is the internet. So we have the Google Drive, we have the Dropbox, we have OneDrive, as well as iCloud. I believe that most of these resources, we have been using them in our daily lives. So they are part of the cloud services. So after we have given ourselves a brief overview of what the cloud and what are the types of cloud, we then proceed to what is cloud security. So everything that we cherish, even our doors have locks to prevent people from coming in, right? That's the same way if we have a cloud, you need to protect it from people that are not supposed to be there, right? So what is a cloud security? So cloud security is a set of technologies, controls, policies, and procedures that protect cloud-based systems, data, and infrastructure from cyber threat. And it's not just you putting in just one maybe technologies. There are also controls that there are policies that you have to put in place to make sure that the cloud is secured. You have to have some procedures, right? That states that, okay, for us to be able to protect our cloud, we will do this and this, right? Policies are things that you want to do that would make sure that the cloud is secured. Controls are things that you put in place to make sure that the cloud is secured. And technologies are maybe software, hardware that you put in place to make sure that the cloud is secure. So cloud security here is saying that you are bringing all this set of technologies, controls, policies, and procedures to be able to protect your cloud-based system, your data, infrastructure from unauthorized access, as well as cyber threats. All right, so since we have been able to establish what the cloud security is, we should give ourselves some examples. I've listed a few. We have data loss prevention, right? So if you have a data loss prevention in place, that it will detect and prevent you have the DLP in place. If someone wants to share a sensitive data from your cloud system, it will detect it. And if that person doesn't have that role to be able to share that sensitive data, it would prevent that unauthorized data sharing. Then we have MFA. MFA requires an extra verification. So MFA is like you putting in extra protection to your cloud. It can be in the form of OTP or biometric. OTP here means that a short code that can be sent to either your phone, your email, wherever. Biometric is your facial recognition and fingerprint. That shows that this add an extra verification. So someone can have access to your username and password, but the MFA then adds an extra verification to it. So before that person will be able to log into your cloud, that person has to do an MFA. That would require that person to log in with their biometric. And if the biometric doesn't recognize that person, it wouldn't allow the person into your cloud. We have role-based access control. The role-based access control is just to give permission based on rules. So in Azure, a cloud called Azure, we have people called viewers. Viewers cannot do anything. They can only view data from the cloud. They can't edit, they can't do anything to it. So that is why we have the RBAC, the role-based access control. Then we have single sign-on. The single sign-on allows users to log in once to access multiple services. So it wouldn't be that he has to log in always. If you have the single sign-on, the person will be able to log in once to be able to access multiple services. Then we have least privilege principles. So here, users get only the access they need, right? So the role-based access control says that to give permission based on rules. So if you are not the administrator, you will not be given full control over the cloud, right? And the list is saying that, okay, if you are just a viewer, just view. You can't do any editing. So that is a few examples of cloud security. If you have this in place, it would protect your cloud security from unauthorized access as well as cyber threats. All right. So what are the fundamental guidelines that the cloud security is based on? There are three. We call it the CIA. One, C for confidentiality, I for integrity, A for availability. What do we mean by confidentiality? Confidentiality means that ensuring only authorized users have access, right? So an example we can put in this confidentiality is having an MFA, having a role-based access control, right? So if there is an extra layer of verification, it would ensure that only authorized people that have been assigned to that cloud platform is allowed. If you have the RBAC, which means that only authorized people can have access to that cloud. We have integrity. Integrity is ensuring that data is accurate and not tampered with, right? So one thing about integrity, an example is encryption. So you encrypt the data to make sure that this data is not tampered with, it's always accurate. Then we have availability, ensuring system and data are accessible when needed. So these principles are what guides cloud security, the CIA. Confidentiality, making sure that only authorized people have access. Integrity, making sure that data is accurate. Availability, making sure that the data is always accessible when needed. So if one of this CIA is breached, you haven't achieved your cloud security, and it would go against you. All right. So we have stated what the guidelines is. Why then do we need cloud computing? Why is it so important? You will need to protect your cloud because it will protect your sensitive business and customer data from breaches. I stated that from the principle, if we neglect one of the CIA, we would have what? We will not be able to protect our cloud. And if we don't protect our cloud, we are just allowing unauthorized access to our cloud, which then would allow people to have access to our sensitive data or our customer data. So the first importance of cloud security is to protect sensitive business and customer data from breaches. 2, ensures compliance with regulation like data protection, ISO 27001. ISO 27001 is called Information Security Management System, right? So if you have cloud security, you are making sure that you are being compliant with regulations. Data protection like this, if they realize that there is a data breach from a company, they can fine you. They can fine you huge amounts of monies, right? So for us to be able to secure our cloud, we should be able to make sure that there are things in place to make sure that there are always things in place to make sure that the cloud is secured. And one is to ensure compliance with regulation like data protection, ISO 27001. The third one is to prevent service disruption or downtime. Assuming that there is a customer data breach or your sensitive data is out, it will by all means prevent service, it would by all means bring out service disruption or downtime. There will be downtime in your business, right? Because there are breaches, and you have to solve that even before you work on your business. So you having cloud security would make sure that it would prevent service disruption or downtime. Your service would always be available. Maintain customer trust and company reputation. Assuming that I'm a customer and my data is on your cloud, and I realize that my data has been breached, and I get to know, I'll lose trust in you as a company, and I would not do business with you, right? So assuming that you are a bank and your customers' data are on the cloud, or their accounts, their data, everything is on the cloud, and your cloud has been breached now, people will start withdrawing their money because they think that since they have been an unauthorized access to their information, right, their monies can be stolen. So they would start doing they will start withdrawing their monies as soon as possible. So cloud security is not something to be joked about. We always have to make sure that we are putting in things to secure the cloud. All right. So we have the shared responsibility models. What does the shared responsibility model state? It's a fundamental principle in the cloud computing that define how security responsibilities are divided between the cloud service provider and the customer. So in here, it's stating that even though you are the customer, you have a role to play in making sure that your data is safe. And as the cloud service provider, the cloud service provider also has a role to play in making sure that the data is also safe, right? It ensures clarity on who secures what, reducing the risks of security gaps or misunderstanding in the cloud environment. So the shared responsibility model, I'll share that in the next slide and look at how it looks like. The cloud provider is responsible for security of the cloud, meaning they secure the infrastructure and core services. The customer is responsible for security in the cloud. So the difference here is that the cloud provider is for the cloud or security of the cloud, right? So the infrastructure, the data centers, they are making sure that there's security there. And you, the customer, all your data in the cloud, you have to make sure that you have to secure that your application, your configurations, you have to make sure that you are securing them. So that is the shared responsibility model. It means that the responsibility has been divided between the cloud service provider and the customer. So I've stated a few areas of security between the cloud service provider as well as the customer. So with the cloud service provider, they secure data centers with CCTV and fire protection, right? So I've given an example. Microsoft Azure uses biometric access, smart cards, and 24 civilians at its global data centers. So here they are securing the infrastructure of the cloud, making sure that it's running every time. But in here, the customer is not responsible for the physical infrastructure because they are responsible for the data application configuration in the cloud. But the cloud service provider is responsible for the infrastructure and core services. So we have infrastructure and network. The cloud service provider manages and protects servers, networks, and global infrastructure to prevent outages and attacks. So that is how the cloud service providers, they protect the network and the infrastructure. How does the customer do that? They configure virtual network, firewalls, and access controls to make sure that the cloud is secured, the infrastructure is secured, the network is secured. Compliance. With regards to compliance, what is the role of the cloud provider? They maintain global certifications and undergo third-party audits. So Google Cloud, I've given an example, is ISO 27001. They have SOC 2, and they have PCI DSS certified. All this certification makes sure that there are controls in place to guide the security of the cloud. What are the roles of the customer? They ensure that their use of the cloud complies with laws and standards. So if it's data protection, they make sure that the customer's data doesn't go out if there's no breaches of that. Then we have the core services. What is the role of the cloud provider? They protect the core platform, right? Such as compute VMs, that is to set permission, enable encryption, and manage the core services. So these are the difference between what the cloud provider does as well as the customer does. All right, let's move on. So we have access management. The cloud provider offers identity and access management tools for secure authentication. So with Azure, they have something called Entra ID that would manage users and ensure more MFA. So Azure has Entra ID, right? That gives users username and password, and also add extra layer of protection called MFAs. What does the customer do? Customer will set user roles, that's the RBAC, and enforce MFA and manage access to cloud resources. So if you are an unauthorized user, you would not be able to have access to the cloud platform. We have application and OS security. The cloud provider provides secure platform APIs and maintain the virtualization layer. So with that, Google Cloud secures APIs with authentication tokens and updates hypervisors regularly. And with the customer updates apps and operating systems and fix vulnerabilities. So if there are patches means that if there is an update, they need to update their web servers and apps, right? They do them. They also do vulnerability testing to be able to make sure that there are no vulnerabilities. Then monitoring. With the cloud provider, they provide monitoring, logging, and alerting tools for visibilities. With the customer, they review logs, investigate alerts, and respond to incidents. So with Azure, there is a place where you can monitor any logins that is coming through. So if that person is logging in too much or is logging with the wrong password, there is a way that Azure would detect it and then prompt you, the administrator, that this person keeps in logging in. Is it a false alert? And if maybe you forgot your password, it can give you an email for you to be able to reset your password. So these are the shared responsibility between the customer and the cloud service provider. All right. Since we have been able to know what the shared responsibilities are, there is this organization that has certain checklist and list of things that would help promote best practices to ensure secure cloud computing environment. That is called the CSA, that's Cloud Security Alliance. And they are global non-profit organization that promotes best practices to ensure secure cloud computing environment, right? So they act as bridge between cloud providers, users, and auditors, ensuring all parties understand their responsibilities in maintaining security. So the CSA, they are just a group of people, right? They have a lot of checklists and domains that you can follow to to know whether you are securing your cloud in a way that is good, or you need to add more, or you are not doing at all. So they promote best practices to ensure secure cloud computing environment. And they share free tips, research, and tools to help everyone to keep their cloud secure. They do surveys, write reports, and if you offer training like a certificate called Certificate of Cloud Security Knowledge. I have their resource that after this class I would like to share with us to see how their resources are or what it entails. All right. So from the CSA, right, they have something called the Cloud Controls Metrics. That's the CCM. And when we see V4, that's the version 4. There's a checklist that has 197 simple rules to follow for cloud security. It covers everything from password to backups, right? So you can follow it to be able to make sure that you are protecting your cloud. And it's divided into 17 domains. So under this 197 objective or simple rules, all these have been packed into areas called domains. And each domain cover a specific area of cloud security. I've listed a few examples: cloud security, compliance, risk management, identity access. Each rule has what to do. So if it's stating that, okay, use strong locks on data, you have to do it. It also has a rule to how to check it, asking yes or no questions. Also has links to laws or standard. That is data protection rules, and helps map controls to ISO 27001, NIST, that is cybersecurity, PCI DSS. So this is just a guideline to help you to be able to be checking whether you are protecting your cloud in a way that it needs to be protected. So if you see that no, you are not doing this, you can then skip, okay, I need to do this to be able to protect my cloud. So I've given a few examples of some of the domains. GRC, that is governance, risks, and compliance. Another domain called IAM, that is identity and access management. Then we have the SEF, that's the security incident management. Then we have the AAC, that is audit assurance and compliance. With the governance, risks, and compliance, governance means that you are putting in policies, to govern your cloud. Risks means that you are looking for trade. And compliance is making sure that you are certain regulations like data protection, the ISO 20, the guidelines that they have stated. The I to be able to make sure that your cloud access is given to only authorized people, right? The SEF, security incident management, which means that if there is any cyber attack or the security breach from the cloud, it would manage that. AAC, audit assurance and compliance, means that you would be able to whether all the checklists that you have stated, you are following it. So maybe if it's ISO 27001 from the clause 4 to clause 10, but the clauses says you are adhering to it. So that's where the audit assurance and compliance comes in. So it states that if your organization wants to store customer data in the cloud, the CCM control data security and information life cycle management provide clear guidance on how to classify, store, and protect that data securely. So this CSA is not something that you just go, okay, I've done this, but also guides you on how to protect your cloud against unauthorized users or cyber attacks. All right, so once we have been able to establish how you can protect your cloud, what is the responsibilities between the cloud provider as well as the customer, we need to also look at the top threats in the cloud. What are the threats that are affecting cloud? One, we have misconfiguration, and it occurs when cloud resources or security settings are not properly set, leaving system networks exposed to authorized access. So what would cause security? Everyone can have access to your cloud. Weak or default security settings not change and after deployment. So after you buy Azure, Microsoft Azure, the security system that has been default, that is a default security setting. You don't change it. So anyone that comes in, okay, knows that, okay, the default setting for Azure is this. They can just have access to your network, and that can have that would make sure that there's a misconfiguration. You don't understand the shared responsibility model, assuming that the provider handles everything. So with our knowledge of what the provider is supposed to take care of and what we are supposed to take care of, I believe that if we have cloud or our organization have cloud, wouldn't leave the security of that cloud entirely to the cloud service provider. We would know that we have a role to play in making sure that the cloud is secured. Lack of configuration monitoring or compliance checks. So you don't have anything that would make sure that it's checking for configuration, or you don't even have any compliance checks. It can result in a misconfiguration. So what are the impacts and how are you going to mitigate this impact? If there is a misconfiguration right now and people get access to your network, your data can be leaked. Your data can be leaked. Maybe you have a way of doing your business. You realize that everything is on the internet. People are having access to how you do your things, you run business in your organization. And there will be legal and regulatory penalties. Just as I stated, if there is a data breach, the data protection people would come for you, and you would not pay just few amounts of monies. The penalties are huge, right? And you get financial reputational damage. Just as I stated earlier on, customers will lose trust in you. No one would like to do business because they know that these people that I'm about to do business with them, their cloud is not secured. Everyone can just have access to their information. Why should I bank with them? Why should I do business with them? And if you are not getting business, definitely your finances would go down. So that is why we need to make sure that our cloud is secured. How can we mitigate and make sure that we are securing our cloud? You implement configuration baseline and automated audits. So I've given an example called the AWS config, right? That would monitor your configuration and then list, okay, this is where you haven't been able to secure your cloud. So you have to do this and that. Apply least privileges for user and service accounts. So making sure that only people that have access to certain resources on your cloud can do that. You wouldn't get administrator rights to everyone, right? By or just been limited to people that should have. Conduct periodic. So just as I stated, the CCM has a full domain. So you then look at, okay, am I doing this right? What do I need to protect my cloud? Then use the change control configuration management. The governance is use certain policies or procedures in your cloud. The risk here means that you're looking at threats that can affect your cloud and make sure that you are putting in measures to mitigate it. And compliance here means that you are adhering to all regulations, legal regulations and statutory regulations. Oh, okay. So I heard that my audio is breaking. Is it much better now, or it's still breaking?
No,
It's still breaking, man.
It's still breaking. Sorry about that. So let me take it all over again. I was stating that the potential impact of misconfiguration is data exposure or leakage. So if you don't configure your networks, you leave it to default, making sure your security policies are very weak. Definitely people can have access to your data. And if they have access to your data, it would bring out legal and regulatory penalties. And the penalties are not small penalties. They are very huge. You have to pay a lot of money. And once you are paying, people would lose trust to do business with you because they believe that once they do business with you, your cloud platform is not secured enough. And since it's not, nobody wants their data out. If I'm a bank and customers account numbers are outside on the internet, people are just withdrawing their monies, definitely customers would not come to me. And if I'm not getting revenue from my customers, I'll go bankrupt. So the importance of configuring your cloud, it's very high here. We don't want to give the authorized users or any form of cyber attack on our cloud platforms. We don't want to give any form of, not even a little bit of space for people to get access to our cloud because of this potential impact. So how then can we mitigate it? How then can we make sure that this doesn't happen? I stated that we can implement configuration baseline and automated audits. So you have the AWS config that would make sure that it's configuring, it's giving you access to configure your AWS platform. You apply least privilege for user and service account. People that are not supposed to be administrators would not be administrators. So the least privilege for user and service account. So if they are supposed to just view and go, they would view. You are conducting periodic reviews using CSA CCM domains. So just before I came here, we spoke about the CCM domains. Cloud control management, which give guidelines on how to protect your cloud. So you can just go on your CSA, CCM, and then be doing periodic reviews. Okay, for audit and assurance, have I done this? Have I done any audits? For incidents, what are the steps in which I do to make sure that even if an incident occurs, I'm able to mitigate that incident? We have the change control change control and configuration management. We have the governance, risks, and compliance. So the governance, risks, and compliance, the governance says that you put in policies related to your cloud. So one policy can be that anyone that would have access to your cloud has to go pass through an MFA. Risks here means that you identifying threats to your cloud and making sure that you are putting in measures to control or mitigate that risk or threats. Then we have compliance, making sure that all the guidelines of the legal, regulatory, and statutory people, you are adhering to that. So that is how you can mitigate misconfiguration. Another top threat is data breaches. So if our system are not configured well, definitely people can have access to our cloud. And if they get access to our cloud, they can steal our data. If that data is being stolen or disclosed or accessed, that is what we call data breaches. So a data breach happens when sensitive or confidential data is accessed, disclosed, or stolen by unauthorized individuals intentionally or accidentally. Right? So I know that we have been hearing of data breaches. Okay, Microsoft had a data breach, which means that some people have gained access to it. Attackers, they have gained access to their cloud platform or their system, and they have either stolen, accessed their data, or even disclosed it. So what are the common causes? How does data breach occur? If you have weak access control or stolen credentials, so your password is "I love my mother" or "My name is Elizabeth Lamptey." It's very weak. Someone can just guess it, right? And they can just have access to your cloud. Misconfigured APIs exposing sensitive information. Your APIs, you haven't configured them well. You haven't encrypted it. Even if there's an encryption is very weak. So the attackers then can now decrypt it, and then they can see your sensitive information. Exploitation of vulnerabilities in application and services. You don't do VAPT. I realize that for some time now, you have been taught how to use the VAPT tools to be able to make sure that you can do vulnerability testing. So the cloud provider or the cloud customer, they don't do vulnerability assessment on their cloud to know where potential vulnerabilities are, right? Once a hacker sees that, okay, there is this small vulnerabilities there, they can just exploit it, and it would end up in data breach, right? So all this, I feel, common causes of why data breaches occur. So if a data breach occur, how is it going to impact you as a business or as an organization? You lose customers' trust. Just as I stated, you lose customers' trust. Regulatory non-compliance. If the data protection people realize that customers, there have been breaches of your data, they would fine you a huge sum of money, right? So there is a need for you to make sure that there are no loopholes in your system at all. There are no loopholes to be exploited in your cloud platform. Service disruption and financial loss. Just imagine that the hacker or attacker has gained access on your your cloud and they have given you a denial of service, right? You can't do anything. It would affect your business, which will in turn make sure that your profits that you are getting would be minimized. So security of the cloud is not something to joke about at all, because it has a very huge negative impact on your business as well as you as a person. So how can we mitigate data breach or put in controls to make sure that data breach doesn't occur? So use data encryption. So with your APIs, make sure that they are encrypted. All your data is encrypted. All right. Enforce MFA and identity access management. So making sure that, okay, people that will even log into my cloud system would have to go through MFA. They have to verify with their term, their face, or OTP, even before they will gain access. Conduct vulnerability scan and patch system regularly. So on your cloud system, you are making sure that you are doing VAPT with the tools that you were taught with, so that anything that, if the tool spots a vulnerability, you make sure that you do patching. Patching here means that you are updating your systems to bridge that gap in your vulnerabilities. And use monitoring access logs called CIEM or CSP tools. So we have the AWS Cloud Trail and Azure Monitor. So the SIEM, right? It will just scan anything that it will just be looking at your logs, your access logs. If someone is accessing your cloud platform and is keying more than one password, right? It will just be logging it. So you have the Azure Monitor and as well as the AWS Cloud Trail. It will just be monitoring your access, the access logs in your cloud. So once you realize that this person is logging in more than 2 and the password is not, you can then look at, okay, is this person a genuine person? Should I allow this person have access to the cloud? And if not, you have the option to block that person from accessing your cloud platform. All right, so there is another threat called insider risk. And they are threats that originate from within organization, employees and contractors who misuse their legitimate access to cloud systems. So in here, it can be former employees. Because of something, he was sacked and he wants you still have access to their old login, still sensitive information, and then sabotage your company. It can be contractors, it can be even your competitors, right? They can pay someone to then go into your system and then steal information. So insider risk is something we have to look at. My cloud platform, even someone in your own organization can even make sure that your cloud platform. So in cyber security or information security, you have something called zero trust, which means that you do not trust anyone. Always do MFA. So we have certain types of insiders. We have the malicious one. They would leak the data or sabotage the system. We have negligent insiders, accidentally cause breaches by mishandling data, right? So instead of they'll write their email, they'll write their username and password on a paper, leave it somewhere. Someone comes in, someone from outside, okay, this is your username and password to your cloud. They just go to the cloud, log in with your email and your username and password. So they are negligent insiders. Then we have compromised. Their account hijacked by attackers using phishing or malware. So in this, they can disguise themselves, right? And then maybe send an email to an employee of an organization and say, okay, their cloud is asking you to reset your password and your username. Can you do this? They get that information from the background and then use that insider threats. And what causes this? So you have poor access management and you don't even track your user activity monitoring. So the SIEM monitoring tools would track your access, what the user is doing, how the user is gaining access to the cloud platform. But this one, you don't even monitor your SIEM tools. Insufficient training or awareness. You and password on the table, right? You don't tell them, okay, for sensitive information, you don't leave that on your laptop. There are no or insufficient training on awareness to employees to know that, okay, we shouldn't do this, we should do this, we should do this to be able to make sure that there is a breach in the cloud platform. We should do this to be able to make sure that our cloud platform is safe. No segregation of duties or role-based access control. Everyone is an administrator in the cloud platform. So people are then stealing the data. People are then stealing the data. All right, so the SIEM is called Security Information and Event Management. And weak offboarding procedures. So with ISO 27001, it has something called people. You look at how you hire people. Even when the person exits your organization, you make sure that all access are revoked. So you don't give them any chance to sabotage your system. So if someone is leaving your organization, you make sure that their credentials are revoked. If there is laptop that are with them, you take it away. So you have to have a procedure. You have to have a list of sheets or a form that would say, okay, have we been able to revoke his or her username and password? We have. Take. Have we been able to collect every company's properties from them? Because someone who is evil and wants to sabotage the company, right, without revoking their username and password, can do more damage to your organization than you can think of. All right. So our last topic for today is a CSA domain called Governance, Risks, and Compliance. So as I just stated, that the governance means that you are stating policies, roles, and oversight of cloud operations. So you are setting policies in your Azure platform, your AWS. You are setting roles. You are making sure that you are monitoring all the cloud operations. Risk management, identifying and mitigating cloud-specific risk like data breaches, insider risk. You're making sure that you're putting controls. So you don't just identify it. You're even putting in controls even before the risk happens. That's what risk management says. And you can even forecast risks that can happen in the near future. Compliance is stating that you are ensuring alignment with standard, like the GDPR, ISO 27001. So governance, risk, and compliance is a very huge, or is a very core part of the cloud security. And if we understand what it says we should do, we would be able to put in a lot of controls to make sure that the CIA is not breached. All right. So I've given an example. If an organization stores customer data in AWS, what does GRC ensure? It will ensure that roles and responsibility for cloud access are defined. Administrator viewer is defined. So if you are not an administrator, you can't have full control of that cloud resource. Risk, data leaks, unapproved services are assessed, and not only assessed, controls are added to mitigate that risk. And also compliance. Encryption backups are monitored and audited. So you just don't monitor it. You will make sure that you are checking. Are all these controls that I've put in place, are they working effectively? So I've given a few examples of the domain. That's the GRC. We have the GRC 1, that is policy and standard management. GRC 2, that is risk management framework. That would give how you can approach risk and manage risk. GRC 03, that is legal and compliance oversight. So how you are making sure that you are adhering to legal and regulatory organizations. So the GRC 1 is policy and standards management. So the policy, you have to, maybe if it's information security, maybe information security policy. Standards management, we have ISO 27001, we have NIST, we have PCI DSS. We have GRC 2, that's a risk management framework, making sure that you are managing risk. And GRC 3, that is legal and compliance oversight, making sure that you are adhering to all legal and regulatory statutory requirements. So that brings me to the end of my class for today. I'll stop sharing my slide and then bring out the CSA, CCM, so that we look at how the domains are, and then I'll take a few questions, and that will be the end of the first section. So I'll be ending my slides now. I'll stop sharing my slides now and then bring out the CSA, CCM. So kindly give me a minute, and then I'll be with you shortly.
Hello, Elizabeth, Madam Elizabeth. Thank you so much for this insightful training. At this juncture, we'll be taking some questions. So we are going to do it in threes. So we'll take 3 questions, she'll answer, then we'll take the next 3 sets. So please, if you have any questions, you can kindly unmute your mic, or you put it in the chat. I read it out, then our trainer answers it for us. So please, the floor is open. Any questions, any contributions, additions can be said.
Hello, good morning. Sorry, good afternoon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I have a question, ma.
Okay.
I'm a kind of confused concerning the role-based access control and then the least privilege principle, because I'm undergoing a master's in cybersecurity, and I learned to understand that role-based access control, for example, let's say in a bank whereby you want to deposit money and you went to the cashier. So the cashier maybe 5 million, and the access control she has, she cannot be able to lodge that amount. Maybe she has to call the regional manager or something like that. So my confusion here is that I want more light concerning the role-based access control and then the least privilege principle, because
Hello.
Hello, please, we are listening to you. Looks like we've lost you.
hello, ma'am. I don't know whether you get my question.
We lost you for a while. So can you please take your question again?
Okay, let me start again. I said that the difference between, I want more light concerning the difference between the role-based access control and the least privilege principle. So I even narrated a little bit example whereby when you want to deposit the money in a bank and you meet the cashier, maybe it's a huge amount of money. The cashier does not have this access control to lodge that amount. She has to call maybe the regional manager or somebody that can do that. So I'm a kind of confused concerning the least privilege, because in your note you said users get only the access they need. So these two things, they are just like the same thing to me. I look at them as the same thing, because if you are giving an access in the maybe role you need to be handling, then definitely to me, I look at them, it's like they are the same. But I need more light concerning that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Emmanuel, for your question. Any question, any question, so that you take the first 3 sets of questions and answer.
Eugenia, let me answer this one, then we can proceed so that I don't forget it. So he was asking the difference between the two. So with the role-based, right, it would give you access based on your role. So if you're an administrator, you have access to the whole cloud. If you're a viewer, you can just view things and not make you would not have full access to it. With the least privilege is stating that, okay, if I'm supposed to do this task, right, it would give me what I need to do. So the viewer can just view. The administrator has a full control over the whole cloud platform. So the administrator can monitor, the administrator can add people. And the least privilege is stating that, okay, if maybe you have a resource called apps, we are deploying apps, and you are just the editor, you can just edit. I don't know if you get me. I don't know if he gets me.
No, I didn't, because I have a network issue here, because is logging me out and then logging me at the same time. I just logged in. Sorry.
Okay. So I was stating that with the roles, right? Assuming that the roles will just give you access based on your role. So if you are the administrator of that cloud platform, you have full control over the whole entire cloud platform. But the least privilege is then stating that, okay, if there is a task called app development or app deployment, and you as an app developer, you have certain rights that you can do, but you don't have right over the entire cloud platform. So in your case, you stated that the person couldn't have access to certain things because he hasn't been given that least privilege based on their roles. So you can be an administrator, but maybe for app development, you are not part of that You are not part of that department, so you wouldn't be able to have full access to be able to deploy resources. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I'm getting it.
Yes, please. So the role-based is just giving you access based on your role. But the least privilege is that, okay, we have certain resources in the cloud. We have maybe you are a developer, you want to deploy you want to deploy web servers and all that. So you can say, okay, you as the web developer, you can do this, you can do that. So that is the difference. This is giving you access based on your role. This is just giving you access based on certain things you are supposed to do in the resource that you find yourself in. So Eugene, I'll take other questions, and then we would continue with the CC infrastructure.
Okay, so I just want to add something to what you said. Okay, so with the role-based access control, just as our trainer explained, the access rights are assigned based on the user's role in the organization. So whether you're an administrator, a manager, an accountant, or whatever, so based on your role in the organization. And you will know that each role comes with specific permissions. So once that person has been given that role, all the permissions that the person needs to perform that role is given to the person. Then with the least privilege aspect, it deals with, is basically trying to say that each user or process should have the minimum access necessary to perform their job. So no more, no less access rights that has to be given. So you are giving your access rights specifically for what you are doing. If you don't need this, you are not giving that. If you need this, you are giving that. Thank you. So please, the next question. Mr. Emmanuel, please, are you okay? Hello, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, are you okay? Has your question been answered?
Yes, it has been answered. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, the next question. Please, any question so that we can proceed?
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Mustafa.
You have mentioned earlier that some of the consequences of lack of adherence to policies, security policies, may lead to fine. For instance, if the system got compromised. So what I'm saying is, as cloud computing is concerned, isn't there this thing like everything is being is leased, everything is released? So security as a service, don't we have security as a service so that you can outsource the burden to the security service providers so that your data will remain intact, and if there is any consequence, then you can channel that risk to the security service providers. Do we have services such as security service providers as cloud computing is concerned? Thank you.
Yes, we have security as a service, right? But some people may not be able to afford that model, right? What we are stating is that you shouldn't also leave everything to maybe security as a service. You also have a part to play in making sure that your company's organizational data is secured. So whilst you also leaving it for someone else to take care of it, you also have to do your part. What if that security as a service is also hijacked, or there is an authorized access there? It would also affect you. Also putting controls like the CCM to be making sure that, okay, are they monitoring my incident? Are they monitoring my event? Are they making sure that my cloud security is intact? So we can do more, even if we leave that aspect to the security as a service. We can also do our part. So that's what I can also say. But yes, we have security as a service, and it can also, you would have to pay for that, and they would use technologies to be able to protect your cloud. But we also have to do our part in making sure that our cloud system is secured. So we can use the CCM as a guide to look at securities in our cloud system. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for answering the question.
Please put your question in the chat.
Thank you. Please, any further questions?
Yes, please. I've placed it in the chat box.
Okay, so Miss Dorothy is asking that, what's the difference between role-based access control and least privilege principle, since all gives the user a role in accessing the system? What's the difference between role-based access control and least privilege principle, since all gives the user a role in accessing the system? Madam Elizabeth, please, did you get the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dorothy. So just as Eugenia stated, right, that there's a big difference. You can be an administrator, right, but you not have access to maybe an app deployment, right? And you can't make changes to whatever they are doing there. So the list is just based on task. But the role-based is giving control over the whole cloud platform. So the list is under the role-based. They work hand in hand, but just that the least privilege, you can only do things you have been assigned to do. So if we are using the PaaS, platform as a service, so there's a Google app engine, and you as a web developer, you have access to deploy apps or web service. That's your least privilege. You can't do anything apart from accessing. You won't even have access to other cloud platform like the SaaS or the PaaS, but the administrator can have access to everything. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from.
So, are you saying that the least privilege principle is a subset under the rule base?
Yes, but the least principle is based on your tasks that you are supposed to do. Just as I stated, if you can't move beyond the PaaS, you are only confined to the PaaS, right? But the role-based means that if you are a viewer, you can only view, you can't make edits. So that is the difference.
Okay, thank you.
Miss Dorothy, please, has your question been answered?
Yes, please.
Okay. So just to add up to what our trainer just said, so the role-based access control organizes accesses based on roles. Based on roles. So the underlying word here is based on roles, while the least privilege refines access based on the bare minimum necessary access that you need. So if you don't need to get access to this, there's no way you are going to be allowed to see it or use it. Please, is that clear?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you too. Please, any further questions? Please, any further questions, additions? Okay, Madam Elizabeth, please, you can proceed.
All right, so I have the CSA here. So I'll share my screen so that you look at how it is. There are a lot of resources there, but I'm going to share with you the implementation guide so that we look at how it is. So this is the CCM version 4, right? So, all right, so someone says he wanted to put a question. Please go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Emiola Mubarak, please proceed with your question. Mr. Mubarak Emiola, please, you are waiting for your question. Oh, okay, he says he can't unmute. Let me unmute him.
Hello.
Hello. He says he can't unmute, so let me
Shall we
unmute him.
continue? Okay.
Elizabeth, I believe you should continue.
All right, let's continue. So please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
All right. So this is it. These are the domains that I mentioned. I listed a few in my slides. All right, so these are the few domains. There's 17 domains, right? And it also gives you how you can, what it states, how you can implement it. So I would want to share the whole zip drive in the chat so that in your spare time, you can just look at everything that it states and how best you can also assist your organization to implement what the CSA CCM states. So it has everything, all the controls in here, right? So you see that you see audit and assurance, the control specification, what it tells you to do, and if you have been able to do it, yes or no, right? So it's also part of the resources that I'll share in the chat. So in your spare time, you can just look at it and then look at how your organizational cloud conformance is against to the cloud control metrics. So kindly give me a minute. I'll share that in the chat.
Somebody's on call.
So it's loading. It's a zip file. So once you unzip it, you can get access to the files, all the resources there. All right. I believe everyone can have access to. All right, thank you. So that would bring us to the end of this morning's class. Eugenia, please can you take over?
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Elizabeth, for this training. It was very informative, educative, and insightful. At this juncture, I would like to introduce Mr. Ella. Please, are you on the call? Please, is Mr. Ella on the call? Okay, so at this juncture, I would like Mr. Femi Olujare to take over here. Thank you.
Hi, Eugene. I hope you're good. All right, good morning. Good morning from this end. Beautiful session, Elizabeth. Beautiful session. Thank you very much for the time. All right, I'll be presenting instead of my colleague Benjamin. Azure is currently tied up, so I'll just take the session for him. I want to believe I'm audible. I want to believe you can hear me. I want to believe you're good to go. I want to believe I'm audible. Can you hear me? All right, perfect. Let's get right in.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, good. So,
Yes, sir.
all right, perfect. So this session will be pretty straightforward, right? It's just to work you through how to create an account and then walk you through the Microsoft Azure interface generally, right? So I want to share my screen now. This session is for Microsoft Azure, right? I want to believe we also have other sessions for AWS. I'm not sure if we have any session for GCP, but if you have, I believe Ayala will communicate that across to everybody. All right, let me share my screen. Eugenia, do I have permission to share?
Yes, please, you can go ahead.
All right, good. I want to share my... Yes, I want to share my Brave window. I want to believe everyone can see my screen. Good. So let me just give you guys the URL that you guys can use to create free accounts. Let me give you a heads up. There are certain credit cards that will not be permitted. We know the Nigerian space, right? We still have issues with our credit card still has issues creating this free account, but there are some permitted. I want to believe if you have a dollar card, that will work. If you have, I want to believe Stanbic also gives you, I've used Stanbic before, I've used Zenith before. So I know it's select some, but I know it's also possible to create. If you have a MasterCard, if you have a Verve or Visa card, you should definitely, if you have a Visa and a MasterCard, that should work, right? And if it doesn't accept your card, your best bet is to create, a dollar card from one of these fintech applications, right? If you get like a cheaper application, there are lots. I don't want to start promoting these accounts, but we have a whole lot that we can work with. But let me share the URL. Everyone can use the URL to go to this particular platform to also sign up for a free account. All right, good. Let's just get right into it. So what you just want to do is when you click on the URL, it will definitely bring you here. And what you need to do is there are two options. There are two ways to go. You could do it for free or you could pay as you go, we all know that's the...
Hello, Mr. Femi.
Yes, please.
Please, your voice seems far off. We can't really hear you.
Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. Let me see. How about now? I'm trying to, I don't have my microphone, so I'm not with my microphone
Please,
or my
it's fine
earpiece.
now.
It's fine now, yeah?
Yes, please.
All
Thank
right,
you.
good. Thank you very much for calling my attention to that. All right, so we can either do a free account or you can do pay as you go, right? If you worked with any cloud platform before, you know that, you can hear me clearly. All right, thank you. You know that the best, not the best, right? The way Microsoft or Azure charges is pay as you go. You pay for what you use primarily. So that's operational expenditure, not CapEx. You don't need to pay upfront for what you're using. You pay as you go, right? So that's operational expenditure, which is called OPEX, right? I know most of us on this call are already familiar with, that lingo. So let's get right into it. So what we want to do now is this. I want to try Azure free account, right? Please, if you have any question at any point in time, you can ask me. All right. I'm waiting for a page whereby you put in all your credentials. Please note that, everything has to tally the name that you put in the account. And yes, it looks like I already have an account. So what I want to do is let me open an incognito browser to do this with. I want to believe you can see the incognito browser, or do I need to reshare? Can anyone see the incognito browser that I just opened, or do I need to reshare?
No, I think you have to reshare it.
All right, good. Let me reshare it. Thank you for that. All right, I want to believe we have that now. So let's just get right into it. So I'm opening with an incognito browser because, my previous account is already cached on that particular browser I was using. So let's try it on this end. All right, good. So the very first thing you want to take into consideration is this, all right? Sign up. First thing is if you have an Outlook mail, that'll be perfect. Just go ahead with your Outlook mail, sign in with your Outlook mail. But if you don't have any, at this point in time, you have to create one. I believe I've used up all my accounts. I want to believe I've used up all my accounts. So for this class, we'll just, use a demo account, right? For the purpose of this particular session. Please, if you don't get a step, just ask me at any point in time. So let's do, which email do I think has not been taken from Microsoft? Let's see.
Sir, please, can you restart?
Okay. All right, I want to believe we can restart, but I haven't jumped any step. This was the URL, right? I sent the URL on the chat. Did you see the URL? Did you see the URL? I sent the URL on the chat, but let me just reshare it. You have to reshare. Okay, let me just reshare it. All right, so I've sent you the URL. So click on the URL. This URL should take you here. Right? Once it takes you here, if you have, please heads up, if you have like a company account, I want to believe you're already used to this. If you have like a company account that uses Microsoft 365, it will be best way to do it on an incognito browser because it will be conflicting with your initial Microsoft 365 account because the entire Microsoft 365 is built on the Azure platform, so it should be conflicting with what you're doing now. So if you have an existing Microsoft 365, probably for your company or for your business, it would be best for you to do this via an incognito browser, right? Good. So I want to believe that we've clicked the link, right? And once we click the link, it will bring you here. And once it brings you here, the next you want to do is what? Try Azure for free, not pay as you go. Pay as you go means it will start charging you for what you do, right? For everything you create on the Azure cloud, it will bill you, right? It only bills you for what you create, for what you use, right? Very, very important that we note that. So when we click on try Azure for free, what happens is it takes you here. Right? If you already have an account, it will tell you to log in with your email address. But for this, because I have utilized every possible email I have for the Azure I know, we're Nigerians, we like free things. No, we're Nigerians, we're Africans. We like free things, right? So I've utilized the 200. Can I log in with my school account? Beautiful. Yes, there's Azure free for students. I've shared it. I've shared the URL. Someone should please share the URL for everybody on the group. I'm not on the WhatsApp group, right? Anybody can share it. I've shared it with everybody. All right, good. Let's proceed. So yes, you can create it. There's a free account for students, right? So you just have to, what you just need to do is just confirm that you're actually a student, right? You would use your student email address and you to just verify certain things, and then it will give you this free platform. Well, for students, I believe it gives about $100, right? For students. Good. Let's proceed. So good. What you want to do now is create a mail. Let me just do. Ooh, let me just create. I'm all out of names, but let me just do demo dash PSA Outlook. Let me see. This has been taken. All right, I want to believe this is not my internet. I want to believe you can still hear me fine because, okay. All right, let me do this. Let me see. Blah, blah, blah. Let me just do today's date, maybe in the new month. Let me just do this. That's an old. Sorry, let me say press an old button. Let's say. All right. Believe we're good to go. All right, good. Now let's get right into it. Why am I using this? For personal use, obviously. For personal use, yes. Middle name. Please, yours should be very accurate because it has to tally with your credit card information. If it doesn't tally with your credit card information, then you would have an issue with this. So so that's for so that it sends me. Please, your information should be very, very accurate with all of this. Mine is still loading. All right, so all right, so are you asking me to chill for you? Is that what you're saying indirectly, or that's Cyrus? So that I know you say yours is still loading. So all right. But let me just give you the lowdown with this. So good. I'm filling the phone number because it will either call me or send me a text with respect to this. And I proceed. You don't need this, right? You don't need this. So let's just proceed. If this was like, we don't need this, but if you're creating it like for an organization, then why not? But since this is personal, we don't need this. And if it was an organization, I think your best bet will even be to, if you don't have the competence required, your best bet will be to work with a partner to set up your Microsoft Azure account. But, doesn't mean that as an organization, you can also create a free account for your organization. But, you would create everything with respect to your company information, and everything as it pertains to your company, basically. So when I do this, I just click next. I always hate these puzzles. I think this is the best bet. All right, good. We got it. So let's just proceed. Verification complete. Then let's move on to the next. right? Add your address information. You can put all the possible information that you have. What is this? 42. CV. Postal code optional. Let's just proceed. Yep. Let's move next. It's very, very important that you also read that information, right? Please, I know we all don't read that agreement, but please read it to understand what is done with your information and what is done with your data, right? And please kindly note that I am not feeling this as I should be feeling. I'm not feeling it with respect to every possible information because I don't have any reason to feel it, right? But I'm just giving you insight with respect to how you should feel it, right? Good. So this is still loading. It will need to verify. You saw the pop-up, right? That I couldn't verify this address. So for yours, you need to ensure that you know it's an address that is verifiable. So now it's taking me to my payment information. So this is where you want to ensure that you put in your card details, right? You have a Visa card, if you have a MasterCard, put in all the information. You know, I've given you, I already put a disclaimer earlier that there's every possibility that your card might not work, right? So don't be shocked, don't be surprised when it doesn't work. If you have multiple cards, because I know we all have multiple bank accounts, so if one doesn't work, try the other. But if you exhausted everything and it still doesn't work, then your best bet is to go to cheaper cash or to go to, there are different, fintech applications that you can work with to give you a dollar card, right? You get a dollar card and then you use that dollar card. The dollar card should work, right? Be it cheaper, be it GPay. We have like 10 or 20 fintechs that we can leverage for this, right? Good. When you do this, the next thing is what? Sign up. But, because I haven't put this information, then I can't be putting information here now so that you all don't start seeing my card number. And then the next thing is I start getting debit a lot, right? So good. When I just do this, I put sign up and then that's it. What if you don't have a card? That's why I said you either get a dollar card. You can go and get like a dollar card from cheaper cash. It's pretty easy to do. I'm not saying it's free, but it's pretty easy to do. So when you do that, when I say it's not free, I mean you might probably need to pay for the dollar card, right? That's just it. You might need to pay. I think the last time I paid was about 5K. 5K for the dollar card. So you'd have to do that as well. Yes, virtual card. Yes, that's what they give me. They give me a virtual dollar card. That's Dave. Yes, that's what they do. So it works. A virtual card will definitely work. So you can try all of those things. And when you do, you sign up, right? And by God's grace, it will tell you that you're eligible to create this account, right? That is just how to create a demo account, right? I've given you all the ups and downs that you would likely face, right, when creating it. From where, please? I don't understand what from where is, Angela. From where? Are you asking where I'm from? I want to believe that's not what you're asking, but if that's for me, then I don't understand what that is. So, but let's proceed. So this is how like where will you get the dollar card? Oh, good, from cheaper, which means I'll not be able to do the practice today. Try, you have a bank account, right? You don't have an actual like ATM card that you can work with. If you have an ATM card, try with your actual ATM. If you have a Stanbic or Zenith card, or even UBA works too. So try that and it should definitely work. If you can't do the practice today, then the video will still be up. We will still be up. And then if the video will still be up, and then you can practice on your own. Right? Good. So Juwan says, let someone try it for us. Please, someone should try it for you guys. Right? All right. While someone is trying, let's just get right into it because we don't have a lot of time. But this is the process, right? There are different ways to also get licenses. Not licenses. There are other ways to get like an Azure account. It means that as an MCT, which I am, I will give you guys pass. There's something called the pass that we can get from Microsoft. right? But you know, that is not my experience with cheaper cash isn't cool. Use Great. Thank you very much, Ezekiel. Ezekiel says use Great. That great work. Is that for me?
Sir, sorry, sir. Can we use VF card?
Yes. Yeah. No. Visa and MasterCard. Just Visa and MasterCard. That's what's allowed.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
They are asking me to authenticate my account. Which account? Which account? Please be specific. Please be very specific because I can't see your screen. Which account? Right? So you can use your Microsoft account. Did you create the Microsoft account from scratch, or you're using an existing account? And if it's an existing account, then authenticate it. Do you have like did you create like a Microsoft Authenticator for that account, or how do you currently, or how do you initially sign up into that account? A student one, good. So is there like an authenticator that you utilize? If they ask you for an authenticator and you don't use an authenticator, they will give you access to another option that you can use to authenticate. Right? Check for all of those things. How? I don't use a student account unless you want to share your screen. Unless you want to share your screen so that we see, I can see we have lots of students here. So share your screen. Let's see what you have on the screen so that at least we can probably guide you effectively and efficiently. But for every other person not using a student account, this is how you probably need to go through one. So a student should please volunteer and just that's either Olua or where Olua, one of those two people. You can share your screen and we can see the issue you're currently facing, and then we can take it from there. Right?
I've been able to create the account successfully, sir.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Perfect. Right? Who was that? I didn't see your name. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Emmanuel. My name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, perfect. Right? So let's get right into it. So it's so beautiful now because Emmanuel will be our case study for this session. Right? So what I would do is, because even my account is, I don't have a live or an active subscription on my account. So what we would do is we would use Emmanuel's account as a case study, right? Dorothy says, I use the student account, but when they ask for authentication, I use the authenticator from Play Store for the code and now done. Thank you very much. Simple and pretty straightforward, right? So you can download an authenticator. There are different authenticators. You can use Google Auth. You can use Microsoft Auth, right? But read what Dorothy just said on the group and then also utilize that. So now that I want to believe that we all understand the process, that we all get it, now let's get right into the cloud environment. Emmanuel, please have your account on standby. Is that fine? Emmanuel, please have your account on standby. All right, good. So let me stop sharing and then we share the actual Azure platform so that we can get right into it. Please, if you have lots of questions, bring it up. We'll address every question that you might have. So Emmanuel, I want to believe this is what your user interface looks like. Everybody, you can see my account, right? You can see welcome to Azure, right? I want to believe what can I see on my screen?
On your own screen, we can see welcome to Azure.
What can I see on your own screen?
My own screen, quick start center.
Exactly, to give you insights into how Azure use blah, blah, blah. But just confirm, check the notification back here. Can you see this, where my mouse is? Can you see this?
Yes, I can. Okay.
Check if you have the 200, check if it has notified you of the $200 free account fee that you have on the account. Let's ensure that at least it went through.
No, sir. No notification here.
No notification. Okay.
Yes,
all right. We'll check your subscription to also see if you have like the $200 free account. Your hand is raised, please. I can't see you, but unmute yourself and ask me. Someone's hand is raised.
Code.
What's your postal code? I don't know where you stay. Where do you stay?
Ikorodu.
Where's your area? Where do you stay? I want to believe you're in Lagos. Where?
Ikorodu.
Ikorodu. Ah. So Ikorodu need postal code by. I'm joking. That was a joke, right? So check the postal code for your local government, and then it's just put your actual local government. It will give you insight into what your postal code is.
All right, sir. Thanks, sir.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Right, Ezekiel, please ask your question. Ask your question. For the people who were not on the call, and I said language I didn't understand, I'm so sorry. I was just teasing him that the Ikorodu. I'm not sure if Ikorodu has a postal code. That was a joke. I'm sure you understood that. All right.
My
Ezekiel, your hand is raised.
question,
Go ahead, please.
yeah. Okay, I want to ask when you were doing the registration, I missed that part. So
Okay, go
I'm
ahead,
trying
please.
to register now. So I sign up with an existing Microsoft account,
Okay.
and I'm trying to put in my address. Now, the address on my virtual card is different. The billing address on my virtual card is different from my physical address, and my phone number, which is my Nigerian number, of course, so is what I added. Is that going to affect? Because now that I'm trying to fill in the address here, I don't see any field of putting the country where I'm supposed to put the country and the state for the card details, or is there going to be a different thing for that?
So what will happen primarily is it would actually get inside to your location automatically by default. Right? Because I'm signing from Ghana to pick Ghana, right? It will pick your actual location in which you're actually signing from. So I won't say it will not affect, and I won't say it will affect, but I've seen situations whereby someone used different information details as one on their card to what it is in signing up, and it was conflicting. But I've seen others go through, so we never can tell. So your best bet is to try it and see. If it goes for you, perfect. If it doesn't work for you, then you have to find one that aligns effectively. I
Okay,
hope
thank
that's
you,
fine.
sir.
Yes, please. All right, hands are still raised. Please ask with you. All right, then we're good to go, right? Let's get right into it. Please, you can still ask me questions as you're getting the issues. We will definitely address it. So this is the landing page. This is Microsoft Azure, right? This is Microsoft Azure. I want to believe, I know Elizabeth has taught everyone insight with respect to what the Azure is, what the Azure cloud is. This is what the Azure cloud is. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, right? We know cloud is like a metaphor for the internet, right? And whatever we do here, the resources that we're trying to spin up or create here is just, if we are being honest, we're accessing someone else's data center, but the only difference is we're accessing it through the internet, right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So now what we're doing today is just walking you through the Azure. I won't overstep because I know we still have a lot of things that we would do. As you know, we have a lot of things that we will still take into consideration from the next class. We'll talk about this, so I won't do too much, right, with respect to the cloud environment. But this is the landing page, right? This is where you create resources. This is where you create virtual machines. This is where you create, container instances. This is where you create applications, right? We can easily create an application right now, right here, right? This is where we create databases. This is where we create virtual networks. This is where we configure access control that you all were asking earlier, role-based access control, the principle of, least privilege. This platform is where we do literally everything, right? And now let me just work you through certain things that you should know, right? Good. There are certain things that we have called, the list of services that we have on Azure, right? I want to believe you all can see my screen so that if you can't see my screen at any point in time, just call my attention and then I'll take you back there, right? So you can see this. You can see where I click to get this, right? You can see my mouse. Good. So for you to see all the services on Azure, let's just click on all services, right? So that at least I walk you through all the services available on Azure Cloud, right? Be it you want to create AI agents, you want to create MCPs, everything, you can do everything here, right? There's literally nothing you can't do within this platform as far as you have the money, right? And please, let me also give you heads up. Let me give you another heads up, right? I know you said $200, but please, very, very important that you note this. I know I also said that it won't charge you, which it will not charge you initially. It will take like a $1 charge back, but it will return it. The reason why I taking the $1 is just to ensure that your account is active. Like, you know, you've not used like a fake account for them in case you overspend. Very, very important. So if you're using this demo, let me also add a disclaimer so that you're not shocked, right? Please don't do past yourselves, as simple as that. Don't do more than what the platform encourages. What do I mean by that? It's giving you $200, but there are certain resources that you can spin up. If you leave it running, trust me, it can charge you more than $200, right? There was a Microsoft Azure class or training that we did it was for 4 days. I gave the guy account to work with, you know, it was a training account. And the class initially, the amount we budgeted for the class was probably about $200, and they ended up spending about $800 within 4 days, right? So please, it's very, very important that you take this into consideration. If you do have a free account, because your credit card detail is also there, don't overspend, right? So you can create, but when you're done creating, when you're done testing, when you're done using, just delete immediately. It's as simple as that, right? Because, you know, it charges based on what you use based on how long your system is running for, right? So once you create, once you test, once you are fine, once you take snapshots for your portfolio, then you delete it, right? When you want to do it can be stressful, deleting, because even if you stop the server, right, it will still be charging you, right? Because you've created those infrastructure already. So please have that at the back of your mind. So good, let's get right into it. So this is where all the services on Azure is. You can see everything here. This is what services pertaining to AI, machine learning. So if that's what you want to do, if that's your niche, if that's what you want to do, if that's your finally gotten it, all right, that's good, Iroluwa. Right? So if that's your niche, if that's what you want to do, if that's where your subject matter, if that's where you are a subject matter expert in, then this is what you need to start looking at, right? You can create computer visions, you can create AI agents, you can create lots of things here, right? And we have analytics, right, to give you certain insights, you know, analytics services primarily. And then we have compute services. This is where, you know, you have your virtual machine, you have your virtual machine skill set. You know, this is not an Azure class, so we won't get right into explaining what all of this thing is. But this is just to tell you what is possible, what's not possible within the cloud environment, right? Good. This is where you have your containers, right? I want to believe that, you know, you might probably also create containers before this particular training or before this particular training comes to an end, right? Databases, this is where you have your Azure DevOps, your DevOps services. This is where you have that, right? So if you're like DevOps centric, this is primarily what, you know, you probably be interfacing with, right? We have the general practices, you know, resource manager, your billing, your costing, your education, all of these things are available here. So this is where you have all your services as it pertains to Microsoft Azure, right? Good. Now let's go back to the home page, right? Good. There are different ways. Another thing is this, there are different ways to create resources on the cloud. Very, very important. There are different ways to create resources on the cloud. You can either come here, create a resource, right? You can either come here, create a resource. It will take you here. It will still take you to the list of services that you have here. So you create resource based on the services that you're trying to leverage or utilize, right? Good. But there's one thing that you need to take into consideration, right? Before you need to create a resource, you need to have a resource group, right? So the resource group is like the house, right? It houses your resources that you create. It's like, I don't want to use container because we already have containers here. I don't want it to start, you know, conflicting with your idea or your knowledge of containers, right? Good. But as I was saying, right, for you to create resources, you need a resource group, right? The resource group is what houses your resources within the cloud environment, right? So if I want to create a virtual machine now on the cloud, I have to first have a resource group to create that virtual machine in, right? Very, very important that we take that into consideration, right? Good. So you can easily create a resource here. if you were trying to, if you don't know the actual resource, if you don't know where the actual resource is, but you do know what you're trying to create, who's writing on my screen? Who's writing on my screen? Right? All right, good. As I was saying, if you don't know where the actual resource is, or you don't know which area or which service the resource is, you can easily search for it. So let's say I want to create a virtual machine. I can easily type for what virtual machine and to bring out virtual machine here. If I want to create a virtual network, right? I type virtual network, it will show you here, right? So these are ways in which, no, you don't. I was just joking. That was me joking about. That's not a big deal, right? Good. Yes, as I was saying, so good. This is another thing I will need to take into consideration, but these are not the two ways. There are different ways, right? There are also advanced ways to create resources on the cloud. There's something called Cloud Shell, right? This is just me giving you an overview into everything Azure, right? There's also something called a Cloud Shell, right? This is where we use command line interfaces to create, resources, right? Because I don't have a subscription, that's why it's not creating anything for me, right? That's why I said the manual should have his account ready, right? But give me a minute. So let me just walk you through. So Cloud Shell is where the same way IT administrators carry out certain activities via PowerShell as well, right? The same way we use the normal GUI to carry out certain tasks, is the same way we can use PowerShell and command line interfaces to carry out these certain tasks as well, right? It is not, Dave, I should slow down. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was fast for you guys. I'm so sorry. All right. I hope we're still together. I hope I haven't confused you in any way. I hope we're still together. We're together, yes. All right. So let me slow down a little bit. All right, good. So as I was saying, that there are different ways to create resources on the cloud, right? I've showed you I've showed you first two ways, right? You can either go to create resources and then go to the resource you're trying to create and then create. We'll still do. I want to believe we can do a demo or two before we proceed, before we call it a day, so that at least we really understand what I'm trying to say. So good. Right? We can either say create a resource, go to the service, and then create that particular resource. Or we can come here to search for the resource we're trying to create, and then create it. Or we can use something called a Cloud Shell, right, to create your resource. So you don't need to stretch yourself too much with this, because if you don't want to create via Cloud Shell, if you don't want to create via Cloud Shell, you can create via GUI. Right? So there's something for everybody, right? So you don't really, if you're not a power user with respect to, PowerShell and Bash, you don't need to stress yourself, right? Because you can also create via GUI the same way you can create via command line. But I'm just trying to make you understand what is possible, right? So you can either create it via Bash or via PowerShell. And the beautiful thing is this, right? You know how easy it is in this modern age. There's always a resource for you to work with. So if you go to Microsoft Quick Start, you see there are lots of templates for you to create lots of resources via PowerShell, right? If that's what you want to, if that's what you like, right? If that's your theme, right? But these are certain things that we want to ensure that we take into consideration, right? This is notification for everything that you do on the cloud. You get notified here, right? If your deployment was successful, if your deployment failed, this is where you'll be notified. Very, very important. This is what settings, right? Gives you settings into certain things. If you want to know your current directory you're working from, if you want to change appearance, if you want to change language and region, that is where you do, right? This is where you get your support. If you have support issues, this is where you go to lodge your complaints. This is where you go for FAQs and all of those things, right? And if you want to speak directly or you want to get feedback, this is where you also go to give your feedback of the platform, right? So this is just to give you like a brief insight into the landscape, or better still, I don't use landing zone because landing zone is a different concept entirely. So let me just say This is just me giving you overview into the landing page of Microsoft Azure, right? Another thing is you also have Copilot ready to assist you now, right? AI is here to stay, right? Regardless of what anybody says. So if you're having issues with respect to any deployment, you can use Copilot to explain what that issue is, right? Sometimes your deployment will fail depending on, you know, certain configuration issues. There's certain things that you need insights, you need help, you know, right? Copilot can help you give you insights with all of these things. Now that we've gotten insight into all of this, now let's get right into it. I want us to create a resource together. And what I would do is this. I want to see if Emmanuel, I want you to share your screen and I would walk you through everything that we'll be doing here. So that it's not like it's not like I'm the one doing it. At least let the student also take charge. You take your front seat and I'll take a back seat, right? Because I don't have an actual live subscription, right? So let's do that. Is Emmanuel here? Is anyone also willing to volunteer? Okay, good. Emmanuel is here. So Emmanuel, please share your screen. Please, I want us to be on the call together and I want us to do it together. All right, so let me know when it's up so that we can work through this together. I hope your internet is fast.
I didn't know if you can.
Oh, I can see your screen. Perfect.
How about
Perfect.
now?
Yes, we can see your screen. All right, close that cloud shell area.
Okay.
X, you can see the X there, right? The X. Welcome to Azure Classic. Perfect. Thank you very, very much. Right? So the first thing we want to take into consideration is go to where I said, or just search for subscription. Why am I searching for subscription? I want to be sure that, you know, you have the 200 free credit so that we're not just, you know, stressing ourselves. Go to subscription. Let me see what your subscription is like. Click on it, please. Current cost, let me see. It should show 0. It should definitely show 0.0, but I just want to be sure. All right, we can't wait for it to load, right? So let's just get right into it. The first thing we want to do is this. Let's create. No, the first thing I want to teach you is how to create users, right? The first thing I want to teach you is how to create users. Very, very important because I believe that's in alignment with the schedule, right? Current cost is unavailable because, you know, this is still like a fresh account. But let me say, I want to verify that, you know, this is active. So what I want you to do is what? Search. Either search for Entra, E-N-T-R-A. Good, that's it. Good. Microsoft Entra, you know, that's what it has been changed, right? I know some of you are familiar with it, right? Microsoft Entra is where we go. It's what handles our identity on the cloud now, right? I know prior to now you saw Azure Active Directory or you saw identity. Now it's called Entra ID, right? So the first thing I want to take into consideration is teaching you how to create users. Very, very simple, very, very straightforward, right? Scroll down. Let me see. Go to manage. Mine is saying I don't have access. It's because you don't have a live subscription then. It means that it wasn't really successful then. But give me a minute. We'll look at it together. Go to the sidebar, Emmanuel, the sidebar. Go to where you have manage. Yes, please. Go to manage. Go to users. Click on users. I hope we're all together. Iloluwa, don't worry. We'll look at your account and we'll see what the issue is. All right, good. The first thing I want to take into consideration is this. This is users, right? You can see, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure if you wanted the company name to be there. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
It's good? It's good. All right, perfect. All right, what I want to do now is what? New user. Click on new user. Let's create a new user.
New user, okay.
Yes, please. You can invite an external user. So you can invite an external user, you can create one from scratch, right? We'll test those two. So create anyone, give it a name. Let's say you are creating a user for me. Say Femi at Lexi, because this is not a company, right? Because this is not like a company. No, you don't need to put at, just put Femi.
Okay.
Yes. Good.
Okay.
All right, scroll down. Display name, if you want to feel that, you can feel that it's not needed. But you know, if this was like an enterprise organization, all of these things are needed, right? Please note that. If this was enterprise, all of these things are things that IT will feel. You're not in IT, you would not feel this because it's not your responsibility, right? It's not your role. You're just primarily, most of us in organizations, we're probably just, you know, users in some organization, but some, I want to believe some are IT officers here. I want to believe that, you know, we have some of those things. So good. You can put any display name, you can put FM, you can put anything. It's just a display name. It really doesn't, you know, amount to anything. All right, scroll down. Let's see, account is enabled. Go to next properties.
It has already filled the password, right?
Yes, yes,
Because
it has auto-generated the password. You can just copy the password in case you want to log in and just try it. Copy it somewhere so that you can also leverage it later. All right, good. Next, we can say go to properties. I want to, okay, good. So we don't need to stress ourselves. No, don't stress yourself with this. We don't have the time. Just go to next, assignment. Oh, definitely. You can change the password yourself. Go back. You can see that we auto-selected it. Go back, Emmanuel.
Okay, auto-selected password. Okay.
Right? So you can create your password by yourself, depending on what you want to do. Do you get?
Okay,
Good.
okay.
Good. So let's also proceed. But now that you've not auto, you have to now the password, you've removed the password. So either you click auto generate.
Okay.
All right, perfect. All right, so go to assignment. Let's go to where you assign roles so that at least we understand certain things.
Just click next, right?
Yes, just click next. We don't have the time to fill all of this. If this was like an enterprise mission, we'll fill all of this. So good. This is where you either, if you want this user to be in a group within your organization, if you have like a DevOps group, you know, in most organizations we have different groups. We have IT, HR, depending on the group that they belong to, right?
Yeah.
We can add them to the group, but you know, we don't have that reason to do. We don't have a reason to do that in this call. So go to add role. So this is where we assign role. Based on the role that you have within the organization, you will see we have over 50 plus roles here, right? But let me give you a news flash. Giving you this role doesn't mean that they can access the platform, and we'll try that on the call, right? So depending on the role that they are playing within the organization will determine what we give them here. Are we together? So anything that you want to give them, if they are here to come help with respect to managing AI, if they are here to come with respect to manage applications, you know, depending on what you want, are we together? Not what you want, depending on what you employed them to come and do. That's best practice, right? Role-based access control, depending on their role within the organization, will determine what you select here, right? Good. But another thing I want to say is this: because I select this role now doesn't mean that you will now have access to all the resources that we create on the Azure platform. Are we together? So it's one thing that we assign roles. Here is another thing that they have access to do and undo. No, that's a different level of role when it comes to Azure. I want to believe that you understand. There's something called owner role, contributor role on Azure. That is what actually gives you the right to do and undo on the Azure cloud, right? This doesn't really translate to you. These roles here doesn't really translate to you having resources to create virtual machines or databases. Very, very important. No, it does not, right? But there are certain roles that we will now give you that will give you access to now start doing all of these things within the organization, right? I want to believe we are still together. All right, good. You can drop this. We don't really need this. Bring this down. Click the X on the side. It's just for you to understand certain things, right? So you can click next, review and create. What time are we meant to close? Hope I'm not taking too much of your time. What time are we meant to close so that I know how to go about it? Eugenia, please, what time are we meant to finish the session?
Please, we should be closing probably in the next 20-30 minutes.
Okay, we'll do what we can do then. All right, good. All right, thank you very much, Eugenia. So please, just create then. Emmanuel, please just create.
Okay, sir.
Or would you want me to call you Engineer Emmanuel? Please, just create.
No. Emmanuel is okay. The engineer is...
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, refresh. Let's see, should I create? No, there. No, don't need to go. Okay. You don't need to go to that side. There's a refresh there.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, good. Right. So I can try to, I would want us to demo this if we have time. Can you give me the username and password? If that's fine with you. I won't.
Yeah,
Fine. That's fine. All right, good. All right, good. So that at least we demo it. I want to show you how to actually manage users very, very well, and I want to demo certain things to you. All right, let me also create a new window. Let me do portal. I wish Zoom could do a feature whereby we can both share our screen at the same time. You share yours and I'll share my side by side, and then we can start. I don't think any platform has that ability to do that right now.
Should I drop it on the chat?
Yes, you can. If that's fine, well, nobody will do anything. You can easily delete the account anytime. So
no.
okay, yes, please drop it on the chat, then I'll pick it up. I hope we're together. I hope you're following it. The reason why I'm doing this is so that at least we're together and we understand, we get full gist of how this actually works, right? So I'm hoping that after these users, then we can go to talk about, then, okay, this demo is still there. So let me delete, it's asking me to, all right. Because I created the demo PSC, it's still asking me to create, to work with the demo PSC. So I just had to bring that down. Portal.azure.com. So I'm hoping that we can still go as far as creating virtual machines today, right? I'm hoping that we can still go as far as creating virtual machines today, if that's fine with everybody. All right, good. So share. All right, you shared it. Thank you very much. Okay, let me just share my screen so that everyone will see how I'm doing it. So Steven, you have a question? Please ask me. Please, if I can't see your hand, just stop so that I know that you want to ask me.
Yeah, Mr. Femi, thank you very much. Based on what you just said, as regards role-based users, you made mention of owner and contributors. So can we infer? Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Can we infer that that owner,
Mr. Emmanuel is the owner? So in this situation now, Mr. Emmanuel is the owner.
Okay. Does it imply that the owner has access to everything and can control everything? While the contributor are limited?
Thank you very, very much for that. Right? That's a beautiful question.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah, we will still even go there. That's why we are doing all this demo. Right? So the owner is Mr. Emmanuel. The owner has the ability. The owner is God. With small g, we have to always respect that small g. With small g is God here. Right? He can do and undo. Right? So Mr. Owner has created me, Adam. Right? Mini God. But the only issue is this. He has created my account now, but I can't elevate access. Do you get? That's the only thing I can't do. I cannot elevate access. The only person who can elevate access on this platform is Mr. Emmanuel. Do you get? That's the only difference. But when it comes to creating resources, I can also do that if it gives me the contributor role. But you can see that when we created this platform, it did not give me the contributor role. It hasn't given me the contributor role yet. Because even when we see role there, you can't find contributor role there. There's a different place you would go to find contributor role. Are we together? That's what I want to show you. I hope we're still together. I hope we get the gist. I hope I'm not confusing you, Sha. Are we good? Are we together?
Yes, you can proceed. Thank you.
All right, perfect. So I want to believe you can see my screen. I want to believe you can still see my screen. Everybody, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yes.
All right, so let me use the account that he gave me. Let me go there so that we see it together. All right, so let me do this. What's the password? this. All right. Let me put the password so that you can have access, so that it won't look as if I change your password. Give me a password that you so that it will still be your password. No, don't give me so that you won't tell me sensitive password that hackers can use against you. So let me just create.
Just use anything.
Let me just use anything like demo at 1, 2, 3. Let me see. I don't think that will work, but let me see. At 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did it work? Demo at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've seen that password many times. This is also a good practice from Microsoft, right? To ensure that you don't use weak passwords. All right, let me use something around it I can use. Let's do reboot. Give me a minute. Reboot at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I believe this should work. If you've seen this many times, then you are the problem, not me. No, don't sign in. All right, good. You can see now. I don't want to create an MFA now. I don't want to. I'm hoping to tell me to skip for 14 days, but now I have to register MFA for security reasons, right? So let me just do this for now. I would deactivate it when I'm done, but it's just for the demo, right? I'm so sorry if I take a little bit of your time, but so that at least we understand it, so that at least when we're done, you can even go as far as start practicing on your end, right? But when you get the fundamentals right, every other thing is a breeze, a stroll in the park, right? Yes, for security reasons, you must change the password, right? It's just like in your work environment, right? When they give you the initial password, ideally best practice, you're meant to change the initial password, right? Because what that just means is that the person who created the account can also have access to the platform, right? Which is not ideal. So yes, you should change the accounts, best practice, right? So I've connected the MFA. How did I do that? I believe everyone here, I just scanned that. I just scanned it, right? And I scanned it with my Authenticator app, right? And then I have access there. You can see I've registered it. All right, good. I can also show you where you can find the Authenticator on Mr. Emmanuel's platform, but when we get there, we'll talk about that. All right, good. Big Dave, they will share the attendance lists at the end of the training. Don't run off. Don't jackpot. Stay. Right? All right, good. Authenticator app. Go to Google Play Store and just type Authenticator. You see Microsoft Authenticator. Right? You go to, there are lots of Authenticator. You see Microsoft, but what I used was Microsoft Authenticator because, why not? All right, good. Thank you very much. Mr. Emmanuel, you can see I officially have access into this platform. But what can I do? For example, now, what can I do? You'll see that I can't do much because it's still saying that I don't have access into the platform. So now if I go here and look for subscription, are we together? I hope we're still together. Please give me a minute. We'll still be there. I want us to do another demo so that at least we're together. All right, good. You can see that there's nothing here. Are we all together? This is what I wanted to show you. He created me in his environment, but you can see that I don't have any subscription yet here. I don't want to ask why, because I know that I don't want to take too much of our time. But so let's just get right into it. So good. You can see that I don't have any subscription here. It means that it just created me in the platform, but I really don't have access into the environment yet. I can't do anything. Right? There's something that you need to now do to give me access into this platform. Are we now together? Now let's get right into it. So, Mr. Emmanuel, please go back to sharing your screen. I hope we're together. Please, are we still together?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Mr. Femi, we are still together.
All right, good.
Hello, sir.
All right. Is that for me? You have a question, Dorothy?
Yeah, yes.
Please go ahead,
This
ask
is
me.
what, yeah, when I logged in, this is exactly what I saw when I was trying to use when I checked the subscription.
Yes, it
It
means
gave
that
me this.
it means that you don't actually have a free account. If you don't have this, it means you don't actually, it means it wasn't successful.
Okay, but I can see the interface and things like how.
Yes, you can see the interface. Yes, but if you don't have a subscription, it means it wasn't successful. Even with the account that I created earlier, that's demo PSC account, right? I can log into Azure, but I won't have anything to do there because I don't have, it wasn't actually successful, right? So if it was successful, you see your subscription information there, right? If you go to the home page, if you go to the home page here, you would see where it still tells you to start, right? So since you're doing as a student, click here again. Let's see if it will give you. You can start Azure for students. Start here. Can you see this on your screen?
Yes, please.
Click here to start here. So let's see and just follow the process through. Is that fine, Dorothy? Try that and hopefully before we finish the class, let's see what it gives you. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Emmanuel, please share your screen so that at least good. I want to show everybody how to actually grant access. You know, most people will believe that when I create you as a user there, you automatically have access. No, that's not how it works, right? But that's why I want to show you guys how it's actually done in an enterprise organization. All right, good. What do you want to do now is go to subscription. Just search for it. If you don't know where it is in the service, you can just easily. That's it. Since you even brought it up for yourself.
Okay.
Please click on it. Yes, please. Click on Azure subscription 1. That one. Yes, please. All right, good. So I wanted to throw like a quiz. If I want to assign access here, where do you think I will go to on this platform? I'm looking at it. I'm looking at where I would go to, but let me throw it to the class. Where do you think I'll go to here?
Access control.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So go to access control IAM, identity and access management.
Access control.
Yeah, exactly my point. That's where we will go to. Right? So what he wants to give me now is to give me access to this particular subscription. Without the subscription, I can't do anything. I hope we're together. So what he wants to do now is give me access to this particular subscription. Good. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. IAM. So good, right? If you go to view my access, I want to show everybody the owner, contributor, thingy. Go to view my access. An error or code. Are you sure you have the 200 reload? Reload it.
Okay, see.
An error occurred, an error unable to retrieve role at the moment. Well, maybe Microsoft is having an issue. But go back. Click the X button, go back. So add. Let's see something. Add first. Good. Can you say add role assignment? All right, role assignment. Let's see. Privilege. Go to privileged administrator roles.
Okay.
Good. You can see what I'm talking about, right? You can see owner, you can see contributor. You can see the difference. Owner grants full access, contributor also grants, access. So you don't just give this to anybody. Are we together? Okay. You don't just give this. If you want to go in alignment with the concept of least privilege, you don't just give this to anybody. The people in your organizations would have access to this are people like the head of IT, the lead, the technical lead development. You get, not just anybody, right? If you wanted to give me like an access that is not privileged access, just go to job function roles. Right? You see that it will give you, go down, it will give you reader role, it will give you a lot. We have over 50 or 60 plus roles. So depending on what you need to do, it will give you specific to what you need to do at that point in time. You can see AI build, you can see, you see something related to virtual machine, see something related to networking, depending on what they want to do, right? You can also create custom roles. But for this purpose, let's give me, so go back and give me privileged role. Give me contributor. Don't give me owner.
Privilege.
Yes. Yes, please. Go to click contributor. Good. So next, that's what you want to give me. So select member. Select me. No, that's member. Go to yes, that plus select members. Yes,
Okay.
please. Yes, please. Click on it. Good. Select my name. Yes, please. Then select. Good. Yes, it has selected me now, right? Go to next. Let's review. Let me see what it has given me. Role contributor. Now review and assign. That's
Review
it. No, down. That blue one. That blue.
Okay.
Yes. I hope we're still together. This is just to show you that setting. So if it gives me access now, then I can go ahead to start creating resources as I want. So we won't be needing to do back and forth. You can see the role has been, as everybody can see, right? This has been given. So now what we want to do now is let's validate this. Prior to now, when I shared my screen, I didn't have access to the subscription, right? So let's check again. So please stop sharing, Mr. Bano. Let me share my screen.
Okay, sir.
All right, let me do which one did I open? I think it was. All right, good. Can everyone see my screen? Can anyone see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes.
All right, perfect.
Yes,
So now let's validate that I have access to the subscription. Now, I hope it has reflected. Let me refresh. Welcome to Azure. Maybe later. It hasn't reflected yet. So let me refresh again. Good. Can you see?
Yes,
I hope we're
we
together.
can.
Can you see? I now have access to the platform, right? So good.
Yes.
So that is how initially you add, a user to the platform. So now another thing I want to take into consideration is I want to believe that I can easily show you how to create a resource group and a resource. That's the only thing I will touch, and then we would call it a day today, right? And the next classes, we can do create an application, we can create a web application, we can create lots of things here, right? So now let's get right into it. Sorry that I'm taking into your time. So sorry I'm taking into your time. I hope that is fine, right? I really do hope that is fine. All right, good. So what I want to do now is let me see. Okay, you can see what more you can do with the free account. It means that I have a free account. So let's do this. There's something called a resource group, right? I said before we create anything, we need to have a resource group. I can either create the resource group I can either create the resource group from scratch, or when I want to create a resource, it will ask me to create a resource group. Are we together? When I want to create a resource, it will ask me to create a resource group. So let's use this. Let's say we want to create a virtual machine, right? Let's say we want to create a virtual machine. We have 10 minutes more, so let's make the best use of our time, right? So let's say we want to create a virtual machine now. Let's just create. What I want to do is there are different versions, but we won't talk about that in this class so that at least we don't waste your time. So let's get right into it. So I want to create a virtual machine. Once I do that, I click create a virtual machine. I can see a chart. I don't know if that was for me. Okay, good. So good. I said about resource group. This is where can Emmanuel have access to your platform after it's Emmanuel's platform that I am using. It's not even my platform. It's his platform. So, and I'm not saying you should give everybody account to if you give everybody account and they use and they overuse your 200, it's not my own cup of tea. Or they exhausted or you can't track it. So if you want to give access, at least vet will give access to so that people don't, when they overspend, it's your credit card that it will affect, right? So please have that at the back of your mind. All right. So the first thing I want to take into consideration is this. Let me create a resource group. Let me do demo. What did you say? All right. Mister, I don't understand language. Please, so that we can finish this. Thank you very much. The noise was, please, thank you very, very much. Right? Perfect. Please, can you mute yourself so that we can conclude? Eugenia, please help me mute him. All right, good. Now let's proceed. Eugenia, please help me mute Mr. Richard. It's distracting me.
Yes,
let me see. Give me a minute. Let me just mute him. Let me see. I can't mute. Eugenia, I believe you're the only one that can mute. Eugenia, please kindly mute.
Okay, please, I'm doing that.
All right, thank you. So let's proceed, right? So I won't give you insights into explaining everything here. On a normal day, I should, but because we don't have time, right? I'll just show you the demo of how this goes because I don't want to eat too much into your time as well, right? Good. So let's get right into it. So now that I've created the resource group, which I already told you that it's like the service or the feature that houses all your resources on Azure, right? You can't create a resource without a resource group. It's as simple as straightforward as that. So good. Let me just create a virtual machine. Let me do CyberGs. CyberGs VM, right? Good. These are regions, right? See, if I'm being honest, these are just places whereby they've created their data centers, right? Depending on, on your organization strategy, you have to look at certain latency issues to determine which region you want to host certain applications, right? There are lots of things that goes into these things before you create most of these things, right? But for demo reasons, I'm more concerned about cost. So I'll use East-US. If you're doing demos, note that East-US is I dare to say East-US is the cheapest region that you can leverage or you can utilize at every point in time, right? So let's just utilize this for the purpose of this training, right? This is for redundancy and availability, right? Depending on what you're trying to do as an organization, but because this is not an enterprise resource, please note that I will not use any availability region, but it can differ in your organization. Business continuity is a very, very big deal, right? You also what happened to AWS, right? Even though it affected, some resources, if most of those organizations, if they've leveraged availability zones, right? Most of them will not be affected. Right? If they leverage availability zones, most of them will not be affected, right? So it's very, very important on an enterprise level. Please have that at the back of your mind. But for this, we will not stress ourselves, right? This is security type. I'll leave as default, right? Very, very important because it's ideally still a shared responsibility. All right. So image, let me just use Windows Server so that at least we can do this ASAP. We don't stress ourselves with this. Let me just use Windows Server. I want to believe it's available. When it's available, you will see to check it. If it's not available, it will tell you it's not available in that particular region. Note that. I want to believe we are together, right? Good, leave this as is. This is just telling you that, if you want to run with a discount spot, what this is saying is that what? They will find a spot for you that you can work with at a cheaper price. However, we can't guarantee the sustainability of your resource on the cloud. What does that mean? That just means that what? At any point in time, if Azure needs that space that you are using at that point in time, what they will do is they will delete your resource if you use this. So for production environment, this is not advised. But for dev environments and, whereby you're just, working and just, trying to run and demo some things for your portfolio, you can use this. Are we together? All right, good. All right, let's see. You can see they're saying this size. Now I want to look for the size for my VM. That's what we're doing now, right? Good. Because we're looking for the size of my VM, you can see that this is not available. I can't use free service in that particular region. So let me look for the ones I can use. Let's go for the D series. The D series are not bad and they are quite cost effective. So please, these are things that you should take into consideration. You can see the cost per month. So when you are doing these demos, these are things that you should factor, right? Please, these are things that you should factor. I should be able to see the one less than 100. Let me go for B series then. Oh, okay. I think it's because of let me click this. The cheapest I can see is this. I don't want to use there are different series. I'm hoping I get size not available in that region. So let me change that region. Right? I think because of that region, I can't get that size in that region. Right? Let me see. Let me see UK South. Let me see if we see any in respect to UK South. Right? You can see that, different data centers also have capacity issues, right? You can see that I'm trying to spin up a resource and it's telling me that in that particular region, it's maxed out. I don't have access to that again. Do you get? So it's very, very important that we take that into consideration. So let me try again. And if I don't see that, I'll just go for Ubuntu server and just try to log in. But I don't have the time. Let me see more. Let me see if I can see more images to work with. Maybe it's because I picked 2025 and that's why it's not available for that particular resource. That will be done in the next 10 minutes, give or take. You can see everything that is available on the cloud. You can see we have over 10,000 images available, right? So name it. There's literally nothing that you want to do that you can't find on the cloud. Very, very important that you note that. I'm trying to say, let me search for Windows. Oh, sorry, let me just do this so that we don't stress so we'll just, all right, let me see what I want to use. I don't want to use from other vendors. I want to use direct from Microsoft. You can see from different vendors here, but that's not what I want to use. So let's just get back so that I don't waste too much of our time. So let me just pick Ubuntu server. I believe that should be readily available for us. But this is still not available. The size is an issue. So let me pick. I have to pick the size that is a little bit expensive, but we'll delete it immediately after. Why is it stressing me? What's going on? Why size not available? I'm trying to pick other size. Okay, then the page. I think there's an issue with the page. Let me just refresh. There's an issue. Okay, good. It's up now. It was hanging, so I had to refresh and then it just went off. We'll soon be done. We'll soon be done. Don't worry. We'll soon be done. We'll soon call it a day. I just want to at least, when I test the VM, then we can everyone will just disperse. Right? But we're almost done. Give or take next 5 minutes, we should be done if my internet is not stressing me. The size opened earlier, but I don't know why it's stressing me. Give me a minute. Let me close this. Let me close it. Can anyone also see the page unresponsive, or is it just me? I don't know what's going on with the platform, but so let me just run through this again. The platform, I believe the Azure platform was having minor glitch, but I want to believe it should be fine now. I don't want to believe it's my internet. Okay, then it's not my internet. So let me just do this. Okay, let me just do this ASAP. Demo sessions. All right, virtual machine name, CyberG VM. All right, let's use this as is. Let's leave this as is. I've explained all of this. Let's see it's available. Okay, this is available. We just use $85 per month, right? We just use what they created for us. The image, I thought the image created earlier. Let's see. All right, this is working. Right, this is working. Depending on how you intend to connect to it, you can easily connect to it. Let's do demo user. Let's do what's the report at 1 2 3 4 5? Someone should please remember that. Right? All right, good. Right, because this is what we'll use in SSH into the virtual machine when we create it. So let's just get right into it. I might not have time to work through all of this so that at least we don't stress ourselves, but these are some of the things that would need to create, right? Encryption at hosts, I don't need to stress myself with that, right? It's just saying that we would encrypt our virtual machine at the host level, but we can't do this at an individual resource-based level. It has to be done at a subscription level, right? So we don't need to stress ourselves with that. Because of cost, right? I don't select premium for this. I'll select standard HDD because, this is a demo session. It's not a prod environment. Very, very important, right? I don't want to manage my keys, right? I believe some people will still talk to you about, Azure Key Vault. But, if I want to manage my keys, then I can do it myself. What I would just need to do is create an Azure Key Vault. But I don't have that time, and we don't have the time. So let's just get right into it. All the networking will be created for me, right? You can see I just went to review and create because I don't have time, and I don't also waste the time. I don't also want to waste your time. But to note that Microsoft is responsible for everything I skipped. Microsoft has created it with what? Default configurations. And trust me, when I mean default configuration, I don't mean less secure configurations. No, right? Default in alignment to Microsoft benchmark or baseline. I hope we have that at the back of our mind. I don't know why this is stressing me. I want to believe it's the platform and not my internet, right? The platform is doing basa, right? It's doing some type of way, but we'll soon be done. That I can show. Okay, you can see validation passed. But so that you understand what was done at the back end, let me just run you through this, right? You see, this will create a virtual network for us, ideally, right? But we can also create the virtual networks ourselves. I don't know if there's a session whereby someone will walk you through creating virtual networks. I'm not sure, but if you don't have that competence to create virtual network or start coming up with IP address ranges, or know how to divide different subnets, Microsoft will do it for you by default, so don't need to stress yourself. But if you need specific IP address range that you need to create, then you would need to come here and modify it yourself. So you can delete everything here and then create something specific to your needs. Are we together? Right? This is just for what? Management, like extra security, Microsoft Defender for cloud to secure your VM. This is just, extra ways to manage your resource, basically. This is where we can condition or to shut down. You don't want to leave your resource just running. So you can set it that, okay, you know what? At 7 p.m. every day, shut down. You can do that. You can enable backup while creating this. These are some of the things that you want to take into consideration. Monitoring is also set. You can come and configure what monitoring rules. You can say that, okay, every issue with respect to my resource should be monitored. So we would create a monitoring storage to house everything and also give you insight to something called log analytics, whereby you can check what is wrong or what is good with all your resources. And if you want to deploy custom extensions and custom scripts on your VM, you can also do that, right? So when you're done with this, we just do this. You can also tag your resource, right? This is a way of applying naming conventions. We tag our assets. For everyone here in enterprise organizations, there's something called asset tagging. We can tag our assets, right? This is what we use to add, to tag some of our assets, some of our virtual machines, right? You can give it name, IT, value, any value you want to give, demo, staging, lots of things, prod, depending on what you want to take into consideration, right? So let's just review and create so that we create it, and then we create it, we get access into it, and then hopefully we can log into it. Right? I hope we're still together. I know we've taken too much of your time. It's not my fault. It's Azure. Blame Azure. Right? Blame the Azure platform. It was lagging a lot, so I couldn't really do much. All right. When it says validate, yes, I got kicked out. Oh, so sorry about that. All right, good. So let's just create. Why is group 5 Dominic Kwasi up here saying, what's going on? What's going on here? All right, it's creating. As you can see on the platform, you can see initializing deployment. Are we together? You can see initializing deployment. So once this is done, it will notify us. And then, depending on what you have, you can log into your platform and then you can start using it. Right? Good. Any question while we wait? Any question whatsoever while we wait? Please, Ezekiel, please ask me a question.
Okay, I just want to ask if the free credits worked because I couldn't see it on my own end.
Oh, since it's deployed, if it wasn't working, it won't deploy.
Okay.
Another question, Mr. Femi, please, I want to ask.
Please ask me.
Yeah, can Mr. Emmanuel override everything you have done, including the creation of this app? That's the owner.
Sorry, what did you say? Sorry, I didn't get that. Can you repeat that statement?
Can the owner, Mr. Emmanuel, for example, override this app you just created?
When you say override, give me in depth. Can he delete? Can he modify?
Yes, can he delete or modify it?
So he can see insights to what I've created, right? Since it's the owner can do and undo. Ideally, there's nothing the owner can do. It's his platform. He can delete the resource. He can do everything. But there are certain measures I can take for him not to delete or modify my resources. It's something that we can also create.
That means it doesn't have 100% control there.
No. It's just a security feature. No. He has 100% access, but it's just a control measure. So there's something like there's something called a resource lock, right?
Once you lock it, it won't be able to.
It won't be able to. Nobody can delete it aside the person that created it.
And that means it doesn't have full control there.
He can delete, regardless, he can go and just delete the subscription. If he deletes the subscription, everything is gone. But I'm just joking. You don't delete your subscription in prod environment, right? But the ideal thing in an organization is that you shouldn't even log in with your owner credential. Right? You shouldn't even log in with your owner credentials. Very, very important that we have that at the back of our mind. So in enterprise organizations, it is not permitted. It's just like using your root account in your AWS platforms. It's not permitted in most enterprise organizations, right? So you can see that this is done. So you can see that this is done. I don't know why it's pretty slow. It's stressing me. I don't know why it's slow. All right, good. I believe everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
But that's a good response. Let's try it. So what we'll do is we'll try that. I want to actually try that now. So what we'll do is this. All right, good. So this is the resource. You can see we've created this. This is the IP address, right? If you have Tamios, you can easily, if you have Tamios or PuTTY, you can easily just, log in into that virtual machine, right? Good. You can see the public IP. Let me see. What's my this thing again? What's the name? What's the name I used? Who remembers the name I used, please? Is it demo? What's the name I used?
I think
Demo user.
Demo V.
Is it demo user? Who remembers?
Yes,
Yeah.
demo user. Demo
Demo
user.
user.
Okay.
Yes,
good.
yes.
The password is what again?
Reboot at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Reboot 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, perfect.
Reboot at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, you can see that it's live now, right? You guys can see my screen. I hope you guys saw what I was doing with PuTTY. You guys didn't see.
No, we can't.
We didn't see what to do with PuTTY.
Oh, right. This is. Let me log in. Let me log in again. Give me a minute. So I'll let you show you how I logged in. Let me log in again. Right. I'm trying to log into this resource. So let me just try again so that at least we see it together. Let me close this session. Right. So let me open PuTTY again. Let me do. There are different applications that we can use in. Good. So let me do this. Let me share my screen so you can see the PuTTY environment that I'm doing. Right? So this is PuTTY, right? This is what we use in connecting to Linux machines, ideally, via CLI. So what I want to do is since we said we can connect via SSH, I want to be everyone so that. So I'll just look at the public IP of this particular virtual machine, right? Let me try to copy this. So let me copy this. I want to believe you can see my screen. So what I'll just do is I'll paste it here, right? I'll log in via SSH. Let me open. My sharing has also stopped. It has opened another window. So let me open that particular window. So this is the window that has opened. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Are we still together?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, it was what? The user was demo user, right? Demo user. The password you said was reboot at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? You can see that we are running demo user CyberGs. You can see all of this, right? It's as simple as straightforward. We are in the platform, right? Whatever you now want to do with respect to the platform is now what you want to do going forward. right? So this is not anything that you now want to do on the virtual machine. You now go ahead to do it. You can see what we're trying to say, right? Depending on what you want to do is what you take into consideration, right? This is me just updating everything on the resource to ensure that it's up to date, etc. Right? So we get the gist, right? This is for an Ubuntu machine. If it was a Windows, would have created it with the same approach, but logging in, I wouldn't need this. I'll just RDP into it, right? I hope you get what we're telling this. I hope we're good. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Are we together? I hope I haven't lost anybody, Sha. You don't need to know this one. This one's just normal updates of a particular operating system. This is not a big deal, right? But any questions so far?
Yes, sir.
Ask me, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. When I wanted to come back and see to log in as a student, it couldn't show again. It started with the plus create resource virtual like quick center, like the resources are shown there, but it isn't showing. The window isn't showing for me to log in as a student again. I don't know what it is.
So wait, let me understand. So it's taking you back to the initial setup page. That's what you're saying.
No, it isn't taking me. I could see the home page. The home page doesn't have the icons that shows that you have to log in as. You said start as a student. It isn't there. That three initial icons, but rather start with the Azure services. I don't know whether you get what I mean.
If I say I get what you mean, I'll be lying, but I think I understand.
Okay.
Right? So what we'll do is this, you just share your screen so that at least we can see what the issue is before we call it a day. Right? Is that fine?
Yes, please. I'm
All right,
logging
good.
with my...
All right, good. All right, any question before we call it a day? Any question whatsoever? If I have the question, if I have the answer, I'll respond. If not, I will just tell you to wait till next session. I'm joking. So any question, anything? Prof TV, please go ahead. Professor in TV or Professor TV. I'm trying to understand the name, but go ahead, please. Prof.
Yeah, thank you. Please, can you hear me clearly?
Oh, I can hear you perfectly.
This last phrase, please, what is this meant for, and how can we run this? Is this necessary? Where will this also lead us to?
What did you say? I didn't understand that. I didn't understand the question.
Last phrase, where you input the username and the password. What is it meant for, and where will it lead us to, including what is this phrase meant for? Yes.
Okay, let me understand. You're talking about this platform that you can show my screen.
Yeah, this.
Oh, this is to log into your virtual machine, your Ubuntu virtual machine.
All right.
Yes, this is to log in to, this is not a Windows. This is not a Windows platform, right? And this is not an operating system with GUI, right? That's why it's not like your normal Windows that you just see welcome to Windows and all of those things. So that the best way for us to do is to probably SSH into it. And this is one of the tools that we use. There are lots of other tools. We have Tamios. This is Putty. P-U-T-T-Y. What I'm using is Putty, P-U-T-T-Y. We have Tamios. We have a lot that we can also use to log in. So, Prof, this is just what we use to log in into the virtual machine, basically. So, the username and the password is the username. Oh, sorry. Username and the password is the username that we set when we're creating the VM. That's how we log in. We can either log in with this or we can use the key. There's a key that we can also use, right? The name of the platform is Putty. This one is Putty, P-U-T-T-Y.
Okay, thank you very
This one
much.
is Putty. Do you get, Prof? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Thank you, sir. I said thank you, sir. Understood.
Okay, good. Any other person, any question? Let me just close this so that we terminate this. Let me go back to the Azure platform. Any question or we call it a day? I know we're all tired. I know it's Saturday.
I'm here. I can share. This Dorothy.
Okay, please, Dorothy, share your screen. Share your screen, please.
Okay.
Any other, while Dorothy is sharing her screen, please, any question, we're not saying that you should, this platform
Sir,
is
you were talking about the platform charging our credit card. So you said after we do that, we should delete the accounts.
not delete the account. No. It won't. So let me explain that very well. So it won't charge your account unnecessarily unless you as the user creates accounts that are too heavy for the platform. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay, yes, sir.
So what I was advising is for every resource that you create, when you're done with your demo, when you've taken all your snapshots for your portfolio and all of these things, just delete it. Don't leave it there, just running. So just delete the resources. So now with this virtual machine I've created, now we'll delete it after this class so that it doesn't keep reading. It's not as if it will be charging you, it charges you per hour and per, the volume of transactions that you definitely do.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that if you leave it now today, it will charge you, bam. No, it won't charge you like that.
Okay,
No.
sir.
But you can still use it, but just ensure that you monitor and track. Steven, I will show you. I'll delete this before we close. I'll delete the one I created so that you know how to delete it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. No issues at all. All right. So Dorothy, I can see your screen. So let me see. University of Ghana. What am I even looking at? Go to your subscriptions. Let me see. Search for subscriptions. Yeah, it has given you a subscription now. Oh no. I think it's active. You said you couldn't see this earlier. Go to the notifications page. Let me see. All right. Let's just be sure. Click on this Azure subscription. Let me see something. Click on the Azure subscription down to the right. That blue one to your left-hand side. Down. No, down. Azure subscription 1. Yes. Directory free, available. Scroll down, let me see something. Remove that my face from it. I know the profile is nice, but please remove that my face from it. Thank you. All right, scroll down, let's see. Scroll down. Let's see. You know what? Go to settings, let's see. Go to settings, let's see. Go to settings, let me see. Scroll down. I want to check for where it will specifically say free resource. Go to billing. Let me see. So that I don't want the situation whereby you now do this and then everyone will say it's Mr. Femi that said we should do it. So let me clear my name before the next class. All right, okay. Billing. Is this billing property? Let me see. I want to believe this is free. I want to believe this is a free account. Go to cost management.
I don't come out down.
No come out, my beg.
Sorry.
Go to cost management. Go to cost management, please. All right, go to let me see. Go to cost analysis. Let's just see everywhere here. So let's see. I just want to be please, so pardon us. I just want to be very, very sure this is a free account. So it's not like we to start charging her for everything she does here. Adeluyi, please unmute yourself and ask me anything you want to ask me. You know what?
Yes, sir.
Adeluyi, please go ahead.
Please, what exactly are you looking for, sir?
I'm looking for where it's the insights where it shows the 200 free credit, if it's actually free credit.
Okay, sir.
Right? So ideally, when we log on to it, it will give us a notification, but there's a particular place in which we can see it, but it has eluded me right now, so I'm not too sure where it is, but I know it is here. Adeli, please go ahead, please. If you have insights into where it is, please. Adeli, please go ahead. If you're speaking, Adeli, we can't hear you. You can't search for, it's not something you can search for and say 200 free credit. Do you get? You can't say 200 free credit. No, you can't search for it. It's somewhere. I'm just trying to look for the feature where exactly it is. So what I will do is let me search on my platform and then give Adeli, your hand was raised earlier. I want to be sure that. So give me a minute. We are done with the demos. So just one more demo I want to show you, but let me see. I'm trying to check my home page for it to show that it's free credit.
Please, should I stop sharing my screen or?
Oh, please go ahead. Go ahead. You can stop sharing your screen. When I get it, I'll let you know. I'll tell you where it is. If it is there, I'll let you know. All right. Please give me a minute. We're done with the demos, but just one. Let me just show you how to delete. While I also search for the 200 free credit. All right, while we wait, let me just show you where to delete. And if I can see the free credit, I'll tell you where it is. Or if I can see it before the next class, I would also let you know where it is. So just one more thing so that you can delete this resource at every point in time. So to delete a resource is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's not hard at all. It's just Control-Alt-Delete, right? It's just Control-Alt-Delete, not literally. Right? So what you need to do is just click on delete resource. Right? When you click on delete resource, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You put the resource name. Right? You put the resource name and you delete it. If you want to force delete, it means that what you want to delete everything in alignment with this virtual machine. You click I read and understand, and then you delete. It's as simple as that. Right? Are we good to go? I believe we're good to go. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Okay. So you delete it yourself. Mr. Emmanuel, I believe you can delete it. Should I delete it for you?
You can delete it.
Okay.
For me to delete it, I will need to log into your this particular profile.
Not necessarily. Can't you see this VM from your side? Refresh your screen. You should see the resource group and what I created. Can you see it? If you can't see it, then
okay,
I'll have to delete it from my end. All right. Any other question before we call it a day? I know it's Saturday.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Yes,
this Ayo. Oh, Ayo.
Okay, I can see something like 3.
Something like 3.
Hello,
which
sir.
3? Is it Oak or Mahogany?
Like no, like let me just say a chart. Anyways, maybe let me
yes, that shows the management group, right?
Exactly, that's showing the CyberG down to the
CyberGs and all of
Discord.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you go to the resource, you can delete everything there. Check if you can see the
resource
the
group,
virtual
right?
machine.
Resources.
Yes, can you see the resources?
Okay, it's loading. Okay, yes, I saw CyberG virtual machine.
Exactly. So you can see everything there, and you're the owner. You can delete anything there. I didn't lock it, but if you still need me to delete, I'll definitely help you delete it as well. All right, let me hand over to Ayola, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Femi. Please, everyone in the house, please let me say thank you to Mr. Femi Olujare.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate it, sir.
And
Thank you very much. God bless
sincerely,
you, sir.
you found out
God bless you,
that
sir.
so much exceptional.
We love you, sir.
Thank
We
you
love
very
you.
much, sir.
We love you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much for giving us your time. And thank you for quickly jumping on this call. And sincerely, we are so happy to have you. Out of your busy schedule, you gave us your time. Thank you very much, sir. We pray God will continue to bless you technical deliveries in Ghana. And, those people in Ghana, don't worry, you'll be seeing him very soon because we're going to be having a meetup. Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. So we're going to be, I'll make sure these recordings get to you today. I'll try all our possible best so that this particular this training can get to you today. So if you have not filled your attendance, we'll give you like 10-15 minutes before we lock it. And after 15 minutes, you'll be able to access the attendance again. So thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you again during the week, and we'll continue our class on Saturday. Don't forget that we are moving gradually to the end of this. Yeah, we'll send it. I'll send it.
And
So
and
don't forget that we are,
last week's
yes,
slides, please.
we'll send it two together.
Thank
send
you.
it two together. Yes. So don't forget that we have 3 classes to go. Be encouraged. You've started well. Ensure you finish well. And then some of your friends that are also on the call, maybe they've missed one time or something. Please ensure that you communicate to them that we'll soon end this particular session, and it's free today. Though it's always free, but tomorrow something can happen, and the policy changes. Do you get what I'm trying to say now? So, and I can assure you, you can't get this kind of training you are getting anywhere for free the way you are getting it now. I think I've had a lot of people coming to my DM telling me that they've gone for a lot of cybersecurity training. They don't even show them anything practical. All they do is to tell them just to tell them what they need to do. So, but at the end of the day, they can't be able to, even identify any form of vulnerabilities or probably attack any form of application to be able to, get the vulnerabilities on it. But you've been able to learn that on this place. And this cloud session is going to be awesome. We're going to be having a lot of time together, and it's going to be very beautiful. And we'll also see what we can do again to ensure that you all, get the best out of this. I want to assure you that we'll ensure that you all get the best out of this. Lastly, if you've not watched last week's video, please go and watch it. Ensure you watch it so that it doesn't stay off your head. Don't forget that in the next 4 weeks, we're going to be doing something different. And all the videos are always available. As I said the other time, every week, we always send you the previous material access and the current one access so that you don't have to be looking for where the access is. Thank you very much for joining today's calls. And we pray that may God bless you all, and a happy new month to you all. We love you from Panoramic Synergy in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Kenya, Cameroon, UK, and everywhere. We love you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you once again. You just mentioned of the people in Ghana saying that Mr. Femi. What about we from
Okay, don't worry. We're going to be having a meet up to Nigeria. Yes, we'll do it. We'll do it together. We are going to be doing it together. We are going to be doing it together. As it's happening in Ghana, it will happen in Nigeria. So we're going to divide it into different locations, especially in Nigeria. So, but in Ghana, it's going to be probably at the headquarters in Ghana. In Ghana, then in Kenya, maybe at our office in Kenya. In Nigeria, maybe we'll divide to maybe like 3 places. We have an office in Lagos. We have an office in Abuja. We have an office in Port Harcourt. Maybe you have to do it concurrent. So if you are closer to Port Harcourt, you can go there. If you are closer to Lagos, you can come here. If you are closer to Abuja, you can just go there. Yeah. Don't worry, we're going to be having a meetup very well so that all of us can know each other physically. And I want to assure you it's going to be awesome. Thank you very much, everyone. And God bless you. Have a wonderful November. Have a wonderful November. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. Mr. Ayola, good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Mr. Yola, good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Hello, anyone?